want to know an easy way to find out if you're in one of New England's better lumber yards? You simply march yourself in and yell just as loud as you can. I want Matthews Brothers windows, and I want them now, please. If the nice person there says, certainly, kind sir or madam, kindly follow me, then you know you're in the right place. However, if they look at you kind of funny or nervously reach for their phone, then you better beat a hasty retreat back out to your car, bike, or horse and drive, pedal, or gallop just as fast as you possibly can while obeying all posted speed limits to the safety of a lumberyard that proudly yells right back at you, fear not, weary pilgrim, you're now entering Matthews Nation. It really is just that simple and only a little bit risky. You can find more information about our wicked awesome Maine-made products, but only at Better Lumber Yards and Window Professionals or on the web at MatthewsBrothers.com. Matthews Brothers with one T, America's oldest window manufacturer.
The United States will withdraw from the Paris Climate Accord.
We are all going to die.
And we all joke about him destroying the world, but this could be it.
That means record heat, more drought in some places. We could see the seas continue to rise.
Their kids will have worse asthma.
Torrential rains and floods in other places. We could see flooding in major cities.
They will have a harder time having economic growth.
Sea level rising, drowning coastal areas. Deadlier heat waves would be more abundant with
droughts and floods.
Coal sludge back into rivers and lakes.
We'd see droughts, wildfires.
How tens of thousands of people die annually.
Mass extinction in the natural world.
This was a fault on the part of Donald Trump against humanity.
Sea level rise is happening. That's a scientific fact.
And this man is wrecking the planet.
Low-lying countries such as the Marshall Islands would disappear entirely. The world will be a mess.
So Donald Trump may have doomed the planet.
You've probably heard about all the great benefits of goat milk soap, but did you know some companies take shortcuts? At Old New England Soap, we make our organic goat's milk soap using 36% goat's milk. That's 17% more than most others. Our bars are larger, so they last longer, producing lots of lather packed with vitamins. And our soap is a natural moisturizer that smooths dry and damaged skin. Order online at oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. You've tried the rest. Now try the best. oldnesoap.com.
Water-based soaps on supermarket shelves use harsh chemical acids to break down dead skin cells. And that's just not good for you. At Old New England Soap, our soaps are made without chemical ingredients, contain no alcohol or petroleum products, and use 85% organic materials and carry the USDA's organic certification. Try some today. Go to oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. oldnesoap.com.
You've probably heard about all the great benefits of goat milk soap, but did you know some companies take shortcuts? At Old New England Soap, we make our organic goat's milk soap using 36% goat's milk. That's 17% more than most others. Our bars are larger, so they last longer, producing lots of lather packed with vitamins. And our soap is a natural moisturizer that smooths dry and damaged skin. Order online at oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. You've tried the rest. Now try the best. oldnesoap.com.
Water-based soaps on supermarket shelves use harsh chemical acids to break down dead skin cells. And that's just not good for you. At Old New England Soap, our soaps are made without chemical ingredients, contain no alcohol or petroleum products, and use 85% organic materials and carry the USDA's organic certification. Try some today. Go to oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. oldnesoap.com.
This is Paul in North Andover, Mass.
This is Luana in Lexington, Massachusetts.
This is Lauren in Augusta, Maine, and this is the Howie Carr Show.
The answer to the question you've been asking yourself all through the break is 78. That's what Lucas Glover shot to get the bleep beaten out of him by his drunken wife. And his mother, apparently his mother really got the worst of it. She had, according to the police report, she has all kind of lacerations when she tried to intervene to protect her son. 860 says, I'll bet Lucas Glover was single when he won the big tournament in 2009. Well, the kids don't look like, the kids are very cute little kids. They don't look like they're more than 8 or 9 years old, so you're probably right. 844-500-4242. So there was a story in the New York Times. I guess it was like an op-ed piece, maybe in the Sunday paper. Liberals, you're not as smart as you think you are. And the guy is a professor of politics at the University of Virginia. His name is Gerard Alexander.
Better strap yourself in. It's time for the Howie Carr Show.
The facts of what happened to Katie Steinle only make sense on one level, which is but for. But for that guy being in this country when he shouldn't have been, she would have never died. But the facts of it, he was not, the idea of what he was painted as, that there is a monster in our midst and there's so many just like him, the facts don't line up on it. And it's always been a gross abuse of the situation.
Live from the Matthews Brothers Studios.
Your agency will be separating children from their parents. And
no,
I would
what we'll be doing is prosecuting parents who've broken the law, just as we do every day in the United States of America.
I can appreciate that. But if that parent has a 4-year-old child, what do you plan on doing with that child?
The child under law goes to HHS for care and custody.
They will be separated from their parent.
Just like we do in the United States every day.
Who's your captain? Howie Carr.
Do you see yourself under any circumstance talking to Hamas?
As long as they seek our destruction, what am I going to talk about? I mean, if somebody said, could you talk to Al-Qaeda? Would you have discussions with bin Laden? About what?
Unchained and unstoppable.
They want people who hate Donald Trump, that want him to be removed as president, that will do anything to, set him up, use false information, whatever. That's the kind of people they prefer. But if you don't absolutely hate Donald Trump and want him removed, Rosenstein doesn't really care about using you for a source.
Who do you love? Howie Carr.
I'm not just talking about inner city Newark. I've had the privilege now of traveling to Midwestern communities, traveling to the rural South, traveling out West. I've read books like Hillbilly Elegy and everything I can to try to understand other folks.
I don't think he realizes how insulting he's being.
Rump swabs, hacks, and moonbats beware. It's Howie Carr.
The last guy was Cory Booker. Could he be a little more condescending?
Yeah, I mean, have you read Hillbilly Elegy, by the way? I mean, it's not exactly exemplary of every Trump voter.
Yeah, he understands bitter clingers now that he's read about meth addicts and junkies in Appalachia. Be like, can you turn it around and it would be the guy would be run out of town on a rail. But anyway.
I watched Roots, I understand the struggle of urban youth.
Yeah. I read some of Donald Goines' books about pimps in Detroit. So I understand the black experience.
I read Mau Mauing the Flatcatchers.
The double standards again, appalling. Hey, listen, the two best stories today are both out of Massachusetts. I mean, one of them is a horrible story. Again, this stupid judge up in Essex County who let the guy go, John Williams, who ended up killing the Corporal Cole up in Maine, central Maine. He let a heroin dealer from the Dominican Republic go today. He's a career heroin dealer, and he's posted pictures of his kid on Facebook wearing Air Jordan sneakers. And the judge let him go with probation because he said otherwise he'll be deported. A Dominican heroin dealer, and it would be catastrophic for his family if he were deported. By the way, did I mention his brother is also a Dominican heroin dealer? And they gave him probation rather than lock him up.
I'm sure there's not a chance that they're also connected to the broader criminal organizations out of the DR distributing heroin in Boston.
Of course not. Of course not. No.
You got to mention the first reason why he was granted probation.
Well, his girlfriend, who's the mother of his 2 kids, wrote a letter. They're deeply in love, but they've somehow never tied the knot.
No, the money thing.
Oh, that's right. He's not a junkie. He only did it for the money. Mm-hmm. Right. I mean, couldn't the same argument be made of every bank robber going back to Jesse James? I mean, Al Capone, he didn't have a particular taste for beer. He was more of a wine guy. But, I mean, he could make a lot more money with the beer during Prohibition and running in the booze from on the Great Lakes. Anyway, that's one story we've got. And this guy is, we're trying to get the transcripts. If we get the transcripts, Grace and I will do Masterpiece Theater on the fly. But I don't know if we're going to, I haven't had Masterpiece Theater takes a little while to highlight everything and back and forth. In this case, it could be so good we'll just run with it.
I'll just give him a taste of touchy-feely, what he said in the courtroom. This was basically a money crime. This was not a drug addict who was dealing to fund his own addiction, but rather a person who made some terrible judgments and decisions, but made them for what he thought was in the best interest of his family.
Speaking of terrible judgments, God. Someone says, "How do we get rid of him?" I don't know. We don't get rid of him. That's the answer to your question in one sentence. It's impossible. I mean, but this guy is a lot more of a threat to the community than Judge Testes out at the Belchertown District Court, the guy who was accepting Lewinsky's from one of his underlings. I mean, who is he really hurting? Other than the decorum, so-called, at the courthouse. I mean, this guy is letting people, Williams is horrible enough. I mean, how many people is this guy going to kill? How many people has he killed already? He's a heroin dealer. They caught him with 40 bags of heroin. And he's a Dominican, and his brother is a heroin dealer, and this guy lets him go with probation.
Hey, give this guy some credit. He also had cocaine. His portfolio is diversified.
And if you remember this guy, we talked about him when this happened, and he has a soft spot in his heart for two types of criminals: heroin dealers and pervs, pedophiles / pederasts. Those are his two. I mean, a white-collar criminal, someone like me, he'd throw the book at me.
He's actually pretty harsh on people who abuse animals as well.
God. We're gonna get to this, but there's a more amusing story. There's a more amusing national story. Do you remember Laura Ingraham when she had that problem with David Hogg, the Parkland guy? She said she basically gave him some lip, and so all these. So he said, "I want to boycott all the companies that advertise on Laura's radio show and her Fox show." And one of the companies that immediately caved was Liberty Mutual, based here in Boston. Right? This is what David Long, the CEO, said, the chairman and CEO. These comments by Laura are inconsistent. Inconsistent. There's the word to remember as we go forward here, with our values as a company, especially when it comes to treating others with dignity and respect. We are not scheduled to run any future ads on our show and will continue to analyze our advertising placements to make sure they align with our beliefs as a company. Okay? Headline, the Globe. On Nantucket, wealthy residents oppose housing for seasonal employees. Can you guess where we're going with this one? David Long, who canceled all the advertising on Laura Ingram's show as the CEO of Liberty Mutual, he owns a mansion near one of the big golf courses, the Menocomet Golf Course on Nantucket. His $2.3 million home is secluded behind hedgerows and a gate. He earned $20 million last year. He famously spent $4.5 million to renovate his 1,335 square foot office at Liberty Mutual. He has hired R. Robert Popio of Mintz Levin. He's represented me in a couple of jams I've been in. Grand jury stuff, income taxes. It was total frame jobs. I am so bleeping legitimate. It's ridiculous. As my former state representative and some of the VIPs that are here today with the overflow are from Somerville too. You remember Vincent J. Pirro, a great man. So Popio represented Pirro too in that attempted extortion rap a few years back. Anyway, Long hired Popio to fight the building of a dorm for seasonal workers. Can someone say NIMBY? So this guy is jumping ugly with Laura Ingraham because she just points out that Hogg is just kind of a jerk, this kid. And this guy is spending God only knows how much money, I'm guessing hundreds of thousands of dollars, to get Popio to write letters to the state saying, don't let these parvenus, or however you pronounce it, this hoi polloi, build a dorm next to my mansion. And guess what? Long, who says he doesn't want to support any conservative whose values are inconsistent with his wonderful company, he has donated $4,000 to Governor Charlie Baker. And guess what? Charlie Baker's Secretary of Energy and Environmental Affairs, a former state rep from Shrewsbury, which is also the hometown of Karen Polito, the lieutenant governor, has just ruled that the golf course can't build the dorm next to the millionaire PC social justice warrior's mansion.
Did they find some endangered species or something? How'd he rig this one?
How did he rig it? There were 4,000 reasons, all of which had George Washington's picture on them. And then there were 33,000 reasons if you include his chief staffers at Liberty Mutual. They've given $33,000 to Charlie Baker, and now this politically correct company gets to stuff a dorm for seasonal workers on Nantucket, while at the same time going, ooh, we don't want to have anything to do with Lara Ingraham and Talk Radio and Fox News Channel because they're they're bitter clingers. Ooh, they're deplorables, they're redeemables. Now, Jeeves, bring me over some Chardonnay. Oh, yes. Isn't it one? I mean, this is hypocrisy on steroids, isn't it? This is so distilled. This isn't on steroids. This is 200 proof hypocrisy at its best. 240 says, "Oh my heavens, I need smelling salts." Do you think Mr. Long, Chairman Long, got the vapors when he first heard that they were going to build a dormitory for seasonal workers? 844-500-4242. Now we know why John Kerry moved to Martha's Vineyard. He heard there was a dorm going up for seasonal workers on his personal island. 844-500-4242. I'm Howie Carr.
You can call him Fat Boy, just don't call him late for dinner. It's Howie Carr.
For over 40 years, Skillings & Sons have been the trusted water professionals for water well drilling, water pressure, and water treatment services. Online at skillingsandsons.com. May is here, and that means two things: graduations and Mother's Day. Nothing says love like a wonderful rosé or champagne for Mom, and Liquor & More has just what you need. Avoid long grocery lines and visit them in Plymouth, Orleans, Bourne, Dennis, Yarmouth, and now open again, Wellfleet. For graduation parties, you can take advantage of their delivery service. Go to their site at liquorandmore.com to see their variety. Liquor & More has just what you need. Liquor & More, a proud sponsor of life's memorable moments.
Our military members embark on a mission of protection and service to a nation and people they love. When returning home, things don't always go as planned. There are over 50,000 veterans homeless in America. The DV Farm in Gilson, New Hampshire is giving some of these veterans a second chance at a new mission, integrating back into society. Without state or federal funding, the DV Farm relies solely on your donations. Please make a tax-deductible donation to dvfarm.org today. One homeless veteran is too many. Let's complete this mission together.
And now it's time for Presidential Facts with Steve Robinson.
The teddy bear got its name from Teddy Roosevelt. During a hunting trip, a guide tied a bear to a tree for the president to shoot, but he refused, stating that it was unsportsmanlike. William Taft was a member of the secret Skull and Bones Society at Yale, which his father co-founded. Woodrow Wilson is the only president to have earned a PhD, and he didn't learn to read until he was 10 years old. Warren Harding drank during Prohibition, had extramarital affairs, and allegedly had a child out of wedlock with a woman who was 31 years his junior. Calvin Coolidge had a pet pygmy hippopotamus named Billy. While living with his uncle on a Native American reservation in Oklahoma, Herbert Hoover learned to make bows and arrows, but he never claimed to be a Cherokee.
You've probably heard about all the great benefits of goat milk soap, but did you know some companies take shortcuts? At Old New England Soap, we make our organic goat's milk soap using 36% goat's milk. That's 17% more than most others. Our bars are larger, so they last longer, producing lots of lather packed with vitamins. And our soap is a natural moisturizer that smooths dry and damaged skin. Order online at oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. You've tried the rest. Now try the best. oldnesoap.com.
Water-based soaps on supermarket shelves use harsh chemical acids to break down dead skin cells. And that's just not good for you. At Old New England Soap, our soaps are made without chemical ingredients, contain no alcohol or petroleum products, and use 85% organic materials and carry the USDA's organic certification. Try some today. Go to oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. oldnesoap.com.
Hey, it's Grace. Can we talk about something serious for a minute? Your age. Getting old has its perks. But remember, being a few years younger, you know, your hair was thicker, you didn't have so many wrinkles, that extra weight wasn't haunting you, and you just felt better. Well, we can't turn back the clocks and go back 10 or 15 years, but you can start feeling and looking 10 or 15 years younger with Nature's Youth RSF. It's a doctor-formulated daily supplement that helps your body maintain its peak performance and fight the aging process. Imagine sleeping better, looking better, and feeling better. See how Nature's Youth RSF has helped thousands of people just like you at nature'syouth.com. nature'syouth.com. Imagine how it will feel when your family and friends are asking you what you did to look so good. Your secret will be Nature's Youth RSF. It's time to start looking better and feeling better. Learn more and order your Nature's Youth RSF at nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com.
This is Paul, the UPS guy from Lowell.
Hi, this is Kate from Chelmsford.
Hi, this is Peter from Quahog, Rhode Island, and this is the Howie Carr Show.
844-500-4242. That's the toll-free number of the Howie Carr Show. And today's poll question is brought to you by Simply Safe. Simply Safe obsesses over details like no other home security company. They have a camera you can control from your phone, and they put a privacy shutter on it so they can protect your home and your privacy. Learn more today at simplysafehowie.com. That's simplysafehowie.com. Steve, what's the poll question? What are the results thus far?
Should NATO kick out Turkey?
Yeah, by the way, NATO is saying that all the Muslim countries should get together.
Turkey is.
To fight Israel. Yeah, NATO, Turkey, yeah. Yeah, the only reason they're in there is because of Russia, of the Soviet Union, and the Soviet Union no longer exists. So why should Turkey still be in NATO? They're
Well, we have a few bases in Turkey, right? I think that's probably the only benefit to NATO.
Yeah, which we're not using against Russia. We can relocate the bases to Saudi Arabia if we have to, right? Because we're getting. Israel and the U.S. are both getting to be pals with Saudi Arabia now that they're getting a liberal in this king, or a liberal in the Western sense of the word, not the moonbat Democrat sense of the word. Yes, throw them out.
87% say yeah, kick them out.
All right, 844-500-4242, 240. Is there going to be a daycare at the dorm for when mom and dad are at work? I mean, obviously that's what this guy's concerned about. But isn't it wonderful that when there's nothing at stake, he can afford to, beat his breast and be the great liberal? And then when it comes down to his own backyard, again, NIMBY, not in my backyard, he becomes a character right out of Hillbilly Elegy, to use that book. He's a redneck. This is just classic stuff. 844-500-4242. We're going to talk about the judge, too, touchy-feely. We may tweet out my uncut column, too, on touchy-feely from a few weeks ago, because I laid out every one of these rotten cases he's been involved in. I'll be writing about this again for the Herald tomorrow. And the Salem Evening News was on top of this first. We tweeted out the story about like 3 hours ago, right? And then Turtle Boy picked it up, and now we're all running with it. So it's going to be a big story.
You can rest assured that if you see Timothy Feely's name in a story, some criminal just got let loose.
Yes. Yeah. And his name, and from now on, his first name is no longer Timothy, it's Touchy. Judge Touchy Feely. Daniel, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Daniel.
Yeah, Howie. Hypocrisy, Liberty Mutual cuts their advertising on a kids say so, and they make kids look like dopes in their commercials.
Right.
Have you ever seen the commercial?
No, I don't know it. I probably have. I just thought it just bounces off me.
Oh, you've seen this one.
Yeah.
Oh, the kids on the side of the road calling for road assistance.
Oh, I know that ad. Yeah, and they're near the Statue of Liberty. They're near the Statue of Liberty. That's it. I know. Yeah, I know that ad. There's several of them.
He turns around to the other kid. The kid's holding a lug wrench. He says, "You know what a lug wrench is?" And the kid goes, "Baby."
Yeah.
I mean, they do commercials making kids look stupid.
You know, Mr. Long ought to realize that, if he gets a flat tire at Summer Wind, for that is indeed the name of his mansion, the summer wind came blowing in. There's not going to be any dorms in my neck of the woods. And if he ever gets a flat tire at Summer Wind, maybe one of these illegal aliens living in the dorm can come over and change the tire for him, Daniel. Thanks for the call. Martin, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Martin.
Howie, the story today of the Salem News, it's got to be true. You wouldn't dare to make up a story like that. But my suggestion to you, if you want to start a movement, is the judges have to run for approval every 4 years.
I've written that column. You know what? I may write that column again tonight, Martin, for the paper tomorrow. But, we've tried that over and over again. There was a police chief in Holyoke, James Scott. He's now retired, living in South Carolina. And he went crazy with all the judges in Springfield, the same type of stuff. Not at this level, but just letting criminals, walk out the door and nothing ever happened to them. And he used to file, anyone in the state who's a resident can file legislation, and he would always file it every year through his local rep or senator to elect judges, and it never got out of committee. Never got out of committee because all these, not all of them, but a lot of these legislators want to be judges, or they have friends who want to be judges, and they give them money. And you're right. I mean, do you think Touchy Feely could be reelected if he ran? No. And if you would think though, after he lets this guy Williams go and he immediately kills a cop, you would think the guy would, I hate to say it, but come to Jesus. You'd think he would wake up, but no, he lets a heroin dealer out. I'm Howie Carr.
Complete and total strangers often come up to us and ask, "Hey, Matthews Brothers, why are your products only available through Better Lumberyards and Window Professionals? What's up with that?" Of course, we don't answer them since we're not supposed to talk to strangers. But if we did know them, we'd tell them that it's for two very good reasons. First, unlike your spouse, windows are generally a once-in-a-lifetime decision, so it makes sense to consult a competent professional, not just your good buddy Dave. Second, the best windows in the world, even wicked awesome Maid windows, won't perform as promised if they're not correctly installed. Without proper installation, you're not getting the full value from your investment. That's why Matthews Brothers only partners with Better Lumberyards and Window Professionals, and it's why you can't get our windows and doors from just anyone who pops up on the web. But take heart, you can find that special someone who will give you a lifetime of happiness, at least as far as windows go, but only at Better Lumberyards and Window Professionals or on the web at MatthewsBrothers.com. Matthews Brothers with one T, America's oldest window manufacturer.
This is the Howie Carr Show live from Chappaquiddick at the Party House. 25 years after Chappaquiddick 1969. On WHDH, News Talk 850.
Another bad song from 1969. 742-0850. We're going to take some calls this segment if you want to get on board. If you have any questions for John Farrar, the scuba diver who saw Mary Jo Kopechne's body underwater. The number again, 742-0850. We're going to start talking about the incident and everyone's perceptions. John, let me just get this straight. So now, as far as your belief is that while Ted Kennedy was walking past all these houses back towards the Party House where we're broadcasting from now, Mary Jo was still alive.
That is correct.
And she would have been alive probably for about an hour, you think?
I think that's most reasonable, and if an hour, if not longer, that's correct.
If not.
Hi, folks. Let's wind the clocks back 60 years. Food was different. Food provided health and nutrition, and using supplements was minimal. Unfortunately, now we have chemicals, GMOs, herbicides, and pesticides that can be quite lethal in the name of our food supply, and, of course, the ever-loving dollar. Supplementing our diets can be very important to stay healthy. Cleansing from daily intruders to the body might be critical. Live strong and take charge. Log on to getthetea.com. Our herbal tea is a great way to cleanse from intruders. Our supplements is a great way to maintain and improve your health. When your health is not up to par, go to getthetea.com. No GMOs, no fillers, and organic, and very helpful in keeping you at the top of your game. Life is too short to feel, you know what I mean. Stay in the game, at the top of your game with getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. Again, getthetea.com.
Poor water quality is a major health issue, and it's only getting worse. Municipalities can't keep up, standards have dropped, and pollutants are increasing. Where does it all end? It ends by keeping the pollutants outside of your home with HydroCare's advanced systems available at Wave Home Solutions. No less than the best purification materials and processes have been developed by HydroCare to provide you with healthy, clean water for drinking, cooking, and showering. HydroCare far surpasses the competition in removing chlorine, odors, iron, lead, chemicals, limescale, and much more. Don't settle for less when it comes to your water. We'll take care of the toughest water problems for you, whether it's from a city or well source. Satisfaction guarantee. 888-997-WAVE. That's 888-997-WAVE. Or go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
But resist we must. They're all jitty about a shutdown. The tortoise in the race, then co-author of Hubris. U2 lead singer Bono, Fran Drescher, Sigourney Weaver, suspect Jahar Tsarnaev, Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor. Is Mike Muckery yesterday, Antonin Scalia, Kim Kardashian, and the Republican candidates for Cairo and Benghazi. We rank behind Lavita. First stop, Kazakhstan to college students in Beijing. He's getting lunch at Chipotle in Iowa. Maine is appropriate. The GOP's tax day giveaway to millionaires. Why was traffic problems email sent?
Here, this is the Howie Carr Show.
844-500-4242. You know what's ironic, too, about this whole Nantucket thing with the chairman of Liberty Mutual is this happens the day after Tom Wolfe's death. And one of his most famous works is Radical Chic, about the Black Panther Party at Leonard Bernstein's penthouse on Park Avenue. And one of the recurring motifs is how when you're having the Black Panthers over for a cocktail party, you need white servants, you know? And where is Mr. Long going to get white servants for Summer Wind? You know, he's got the same problem that Lenny Bernstein had back in 1970. And it's ironic. Somewhere Tom Wolfe is enjoying this radical chic moment on the island of Nantucket. What do you got for us, Grace?
All righty, let's start. I think I'm going to start today with the T.I. story. Not because it's the most important story, but because I know you're dying to get to it, so I want to beat you to it.
He's a rapper.
He is a rapper. Do you know his big songs?
Yo, yo, yo.
No, I actually...
I said you can have whatever you like.
Yo, yo, yo.
No, nice. You know the song.
I'm trying not to let what you're about to tell the audience destroy my faith in the integrity of the hip-hop community.
The rapper, born Clifford Harris Jr.
His name's Clifford. That's not a very gangster name.
Was cuffed.
Why isn't his rap name Red Dog?
Was cuffed by police in Georgia at around 4 a.m. He was arrested at his gated community where he lives.
A rapper lives in a gated community? What is it, a jail?
After he got in an altercation with a security guard where he said the security guard wouldn't let him back in. He didn't have his key. And he said...
Oh, it was a Skippy Gates deal.
He said, "Don't you know who I am?"
Do you know who I am?
That was the exact quote. And so he was arrested for public drunkenness.
A rapper?
A rapper.
What a racist frame.
I know. We have to have
I'm tired of this.
We have to have a Patron summit to figure this one out.
Skippy Gates feels his pain.
Yeah. Do we have a comment from his mom, Steve?
He's a good boy, a very good boy.
I'm sure the Georgia police just acted stupidly in this matter.
I'm sure they did.
Okay, but this is another story. I'm not sure if this is actually a big deal, but they're making it seem like this is huge, that Trump did reimburse Michael Cohen after expenses were incurred, as he admits paying back up to $250,000 to a lawyer who reached hush agreement with Stormy Daniels.
Didn't we know this? Yeah.
Yeah, but now I guess because of his financial disclosure form, it was just marked on that. So anytime they can put up on their front page a picture of Trump.
The great thing about new journalism these days is that people's memories are so short. You can wait like a month and then bring something back, and it's a breaking story all over again,
Right.
and you get just as many clicks.
You know what? 541 just says David Long from Liberty Mutual just made an emergency call to Reverend Al, which brings us to another Tom
Got to
Wolfe
get some
book.
steam control, see?
Reverend Bacon is Reverend Sharpton, and that's the bonfire of the vanities. Steam control. That's what they need down on the island.
Although it's more from the Hispanic community now. Who handles steam control for the Hispanics?
That's a good point. Louis Gutierrez. Well, that's where he's leaving Congress, so now he can get into the steam control business.
This is an update from Newsbusters. They counted that the porn star Stormy Daniels' lawyer was interviewed 147 times in
It's up to 147?
Yes.
I thought it was 108 like yesterday.
He's also threatened a second publication, The Hollywood Reporter.
Yeah, I want to read this. This is interesting. So Michael Avenatti, I am a firm believer right now that all of these liberals are starting to get the karma train is coming at them because
I mean, like David Long, for instance, today. Right?
Yes.
That's an example.
And Eric Schneiderman. It's just
Yeah.
they preach, and then something from their past comes up. Michael Avenatti is very defensive that anyone should go after him, which is ironic because his career is, ruining people's character defamation, and he doesn't think that he's fair game.
Dealing in private documents, the possession of which is a crime if you're not the person whose documents they are.
But when he's doing it, or when someone else's life is being ruined, or, the feds are breaking into someone's home at 4 a.m. with guns, he's all excited about it. He's like, yes, this is what they deserve. But when he feels like his reputation is being besmirched, he does not like it. So the latest is that he reportedly called the Hollywood Reporter writer Eric Gardner, spelled E-R-I-Q, not E-R-I-C, a bleep hole, and then demanded to speak with Gardner's editor over an unflattering story. Imagine if people in Trump's world were as offended by unflattering stories.
So the story is basically like some lawyers I talked with questioned his strategy of being on TV all the time.
So he can dish it out, but he can't take it.
Exactly. And this is what the guy said. As I was preparing this column, Avenatti learned that the Hollywood Reporter would be tallying his media appearances and reached out to an editor to express concern. Avenatti indicated he'd be open to questions, so I sent him a half dozen.
Hey, wouldn't he be proud? I mean, you're on national TV all these hundreds of times. I mean, you don't think anyone's supposed to write about it?
Ready?
Why are you on national TV if you don't want people to know who you are?
Speculating that the result of my assessment of his work wouldn't exactly be flattering, he called me up and became somewhat menacing. At one point, he called me a bleep hole with an agenda and accused the lawyers I had spoken to.
He doesn't have an agenda, though, does he?
Did Billy Bulger ever call up your editor? Hey, this Howie Carr guy.
No, he would look out of the Senate chambers and go, "Is the Savage still there?"
At one point, he called me a bleep hole with an agenda and accused the lawyers I had spoken to of being jealous of his success. This conversation occurred before he threatened to sue a reporter at the Daily Caller.
Jealous? Well, if he's a success, then why wouldn't he want the reporter touting his success? None of this makes any sense, Grace.
I know. I don't think Avenatti makes a lot of sense. I think Avenatti's getting a little hot under the collar. He's getting very, very aggravated. Whenever someone gets this mad about bad publicity, it means there's some truth to it. Because people call me dumb all the time, and I don't get mad because you know why? Deep down, I know the truth.
Somebody says Jorge Ramos is the Latino steam control. I don't think he has enough
cachet.
Not cash. I don't think he has. He doesn't have enough visibility either, does he? I mean, who really knows? I mean, his great moment in fame was in 2015 when Trump had him thrown out of the press conference,
which you can, by the way, see on the slideshow we have for our Deplorable show. That's kind of a crowd pleaser. And I also want to tell everyone that this news segment is brought to you by our moving sale that we have on the site right now. If you go to HowieCarrshow.com, click store, you can get 3 of Howie's mob books, Rifleman, Ratman, and Plug Uglies. Today, this is the last day of the sale, until 7 o'clock. For only $19.99, you get all 3 books. They're usually more than $50, plus free shipping. We're moving our warehouse, so we need to move books, and that is the offer right now, but it expires at 7, so don't call me at 7:30.
Right, and if you want to see if you want to see some of the kind of things that are in the book, and I wrote about them in my column this morning. Grace posted all these FBI reports this morning.
Yes,
they're kind of interesting, aren't they?
And
Grace?
I didn't even share the byline with you, even though it did take me a little bit of time to post that. I've learned just to give you the full byline.
Thank you, Grace. Thank you.
You get very, very.
It contributes to civility in the office.
It was really it was really
kind of like when I don't cook fish from the night before.
You know who those reports were actually written by, though? Those Flemmy informant reports. You know who they were written by?
Who?
Zip Connolly. It should have said by Howie Carr and Zip Connolly.
I should have given him. It would have may have boosted his spirits.
It would have meant a lot
Zip
to him.
Colony, edited by Howie Carr.
Because he's not around anymore. He's down he's in Florida. He's in the Sunshine State.
I wonder if one of the guards would give him a heads up, though.
Not in Palm Beach.
Hey, Zip, you got a mention here on the Howie Carr Show website. I want to talk about this. This was a big thing that happened yesterday on Twitter, because I feel like I've hit enough legit news stories for right now that we can go to this dumb thing.
Yeah, T.I. that was a big story.
Yeah. Laurel or Yanny? Have you heard of this?
Yes, I have heard of this one.
Okay, so remember I'm going to ask the VIPs. Do you guys remember the blue and black dress debacle? It was.
You mean the gold and yellow one?
Oh, no. I was thinking of somebody who owns a bar in East Boston that we're going to talk about in the 6 o'clock hour. I'm sorry. I don't know what this is
I was going to say, I was very surprised when you were like, I've heard of this.
So there's this sound clip circulating the internet, and some people, when they hear it, hear Laurel, and others hear Yanny.
And it's like the blue. If you don't remember the black and blue dress or the white and gold dress, that was a visual one where some people would say, oh, the dress is blue. And some people would say, oh, the dress is gold. I mean, just.
So let's see what Howie hears.
Full disclosure, the dress was black and blue. And this is Laurel, but go ahead.
Laurel.
What do you hear?
Laurel.
What do you hear, Steve?
I hear Laurel, but I could see how you could hear it as Yanny.
Here's the thing, though. So I looked into this. This was going crazy on Twitter last night. There were celebrities tweeting about it.
I know. My brother called me at like 10:30 and was like, "What do you hear? What do you hear?" And I said Laurel, and he was like, "Are you kidding me? I hear Yanny."
But here's the thing, Steve. I read a theory about this. Some people are saying depending on the device you're listening to, that's what it changes, because the bass of whatever device you're listening to. So when I listened to it on my phone, I heard Laurel. But when I listened to it on the computer back there, I heard Yanny. But this is breaking stuff, guys.
Here's more breaking news.
Oh, gosh.
Have you got a problem with political correctness? Call Honest Howie's Steam Control Incorporated.
Sometimes when I'm reading a story, I see the wheels turning, and I know Howie's mind is somewhere completely different. I'm like, there's no way he's focusing this much on Laurel Yanny.
No, I'm thinking about who's going to be. I'm going to need a black person.
Wouldn't have to be
I'm gonna
Honest
need somebody
Jose's.
from the black community and from the Latino community and from the transgender community and from the Native American. I'm going to be searching for people.
Howie, you know what I want to do when we get back?
Honest Howie Steam Control.
No, we can keep going with that, of course.
Okay.
Very important. But Breitbart just put up a great column. They are listing the 12 scandals that are resulting in why they want Andy Lack fired. And I think a lot of these people need to be...
good.
Yeah, I don't think you'll remember. Some of these slipped through the cracks. And whether that was, to Andy Lack's benefit maybe, but a lot of these...
Cracks really the right word considering what kind of scandals these are, Grace?
A lot of these slipped through the crevices? Slipped through the nooks and crannies?
They slipped through the safety net.
Hey, Howie, Beaver State Finian has a good idea. Why don't you promote Consuela, your illegal alien housekeeper, to do Hispanic steam control for you?
Should she stand with Chairman Long and say that I work at Summerwind too, and I don't want a bad view from a dormitory, people throwing out beer cans and having cars up, low riders running around the dunes. Maybe she could handle that.
I think it's squarely within her skill set.
There
but
is
then
no
Consuela. Your house would get a little dirty on the weekends.
844-500-4242. I'm Howie Carr.
He's the guru of graft. It's Howie Carr.
This half hour of the Howie Carr Show is powered by the Car Guys. Purchasing a pre-owned car can be tricky, but not if you go through Bill Papa George. He is the absolute best in the business. Both Grace and I use the Car Guys, and recently my daughter Charlotte got a car from the Car Guys. Call 800-300-4600. That's 800-300-4600.
Howie Carr.
Howie Carr here with Ronnie from Life Change Tea. Ronnie, Get the Tea has changed my life, but many of my listeners don't understand what Life Change Tea is. Can you tell them?
It's a wonderful tea. It detoxes you. Most people find the side effect for the first couple months is weight loss because we get stuff trapped in our colon. We don't get it out. We don't cleanse, and we feel yucky. So what you're going to start feeling is a lot of energy.
So you can lose some serious weight drinking Life Change Tea?
I lost 25 pounds drinking the tea in 3 months.
Wow. And it just makes you feel better, too.
When you're sick, all of a sudden, when you start taking natural things, boy, I tell you, the sickness starts going away.
I can attest to that, Ronnie. Where can people go to learn more and order Life Change Tea?
They can go to getthetea.com. I make it really simple because people will say, oh, geez, I need to get the tea. So getthetea.com. And we actually put a lot of information out there so you know what you're getting. It's not just a product, and then you go, wonder what this is for. All the stuff is explained right there on the website.
Getthetea.com.
Making sure that we don't have high-capacity, rapid-fire magazines that allow mass killings.
Maybe we shouldn't have high magazine clips.
Gas-assisted receiver firearms.
Machine gun magazines.
And what sounded like automatic rounds.
Seeing if we can get automatic weapons that kill folks in amazing numbers.
If I wanted to fire this on full semi-automatic...
Well, why do we need jumbo clips?
The best bill
do you know what a barrel shroud is?
I actually don't know what a barrel shroud is.
Because it's in your legislation.
It's a shoulder thing that goes up.
No, it's not.
What the District of Columbia was trying to do was to protect toddlers from guns.
It is harder to buy cough medicine than it is to buy an AK-47 or 50 of them.
It is easier for a teenager to buy a Glock than get his hands on a computer or even a book.
It's legal to hunt humans with 15-round, 30-round, even 150-round magazines.
Hey, it's Grace. Can we talk about something serious for a minute? Your age. Getting old has its perks. But remember, being a few years younger, your hair was thicker, you didn't have so many wrinkles, that extra weight wasn't haunting you, and you just felt better. Well, we can't turn back the clocks and go back 10 or 15 years, but you can start feeling and looking 10 or 15 years younger with Nature's Youth RSF. It's a doctor-formulated daily supplement that helps your body maintain its peak performance and fight the aging process. Imagine sleeping better, looking better, and feeling better. See how Nature's Youth RSF has helped thousands of people just like you at nature'syouth.com. naturesyouth.com. Imagine how it will feel when your family and friends are asking you what you did to look so good. Your secret will be Nature's Youth RSF. It's time to start looking better and feeling better. Learn more and order your Nature's Youth RSF at naturesyouth.com. That's naturesyouth.com. That's naturesyouth.com.
You've probably heard about all the great benefits of goat milk soap, but did you know some companies take shortcuts? At Old New England Soap, we make our organic goat's milk soap using 36% goat's milk. That's 17% more than most others. Our bars are larger, so they last longer, producing lots of lather packed with vitamins. And our soap is a natural moisturizer that smooths dry and damaged skin. Order online at oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. You've tried the rest. Now try the best. oldnesoap.com.
Water-based soaps on supermarket shelves use harsh chemical acids to break down dead skin cells. And that's just not good for you. At Old New England Soap, our soaps are made without chemical ingredients, contain no alcohol or petroleum products, and use 85% organic materials and carry the USDA's organic certification. Try some today. Go to oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. oldnesoap.com.
This is Karen from Billerica, Massachusetts.
This is Adrian in Swanton, Vermont.
This is Miss Susan up in Warner, New Hampshire. And this is the Howie Carr Show.
Grace, Honest Howie's steam control is going to need someone from the Middle East, for when there are Islamophobic outbursts. You know anyone that has Middle Eastern blood in them that might could work as an Honest Howie steam control?
I know someone who is so in touch with her Middle Eastern roots.
Really?
That she would be perfect for that job.
Okay. Well, you let me know about that.
Yeah,
because we're gonna be hiring.
You got it.
And while we're on the subject of that, though, I think we're going to need required DNA tests for steam control, because you might be in a situation where someone claims to be a Native American, for example, but they're not actually a Native American.
Who would do that? No one would do that.
I'm just saying,
That's
just do diligence on your steam control.
Yes. So a 603 says, why are VIPs there on a Wednesday? Because we overbooked.
Yes.
They're laughing, but it's true. We overbooked. I'm sorry. They'll probably be on various days for the next few weeks.
Yes.
Right.
But
we're happy to have you guys. We're happy to have you guys.
Howie performs better sometimes with a live studio audience anyways.
Yeah, he's like Jeb Bush. Please clap.
Especially when they're
for you guys. Please clap. Here they go.
And we have some people here from Somerville.
Yes.
But they're moving to Texas. And ironically, I used to live in Somerville, and I'm going to Texas tomorrow.
You have connections to everywhere, Howie. You're like Carmen Sandiego.
I was telling them where to get chicken fried steak in Dallas.
You were. You're very good. You're like concierge Howie.
That's right.
All right, I'm going to read a couple of nice, one feel-good story before I get to the Breitbart article on NBC's bombshells that ended up hurting Andy Lack.
Duds that turned into duds.
Yes. Did you hear about the shooting in Illinois? Or the avoided shooting, I should say?
Dixon in Ronald Reagan's old hometown.
Yeah, a kid, a 19-year-old guy was at the school, Illinois Dixon High School, at around 8 a.m., showed up with a gun. A resource officer who was also armed shot him. He shot the resource officer first, fired at him. The resource officer shot back at the gunman, and he got him. And
what did Damon Runyon call a gun, Grace?
An equalizer?
That's exactly right.
In this case,
the guard
it certainly
came up
was
with the equalizer.
A good guy with a gun. Let's see how David Hogg twists this one.
So remind me again why there's not a security officer at every single school.
Well, in some schools there are, and then Parkland, it just doesn't. They don't really do anything.
I say we cut superintendents until we can put a school resource officer in every school.
Yes.
And also,
I agree. Assistant, associate, deputy, senior superintendents.
Also, Michigan State has settled with Larry Nassar victims. Larry Nassar, who is the huge sicko creep, who was the doctor who the gymnasts were going to. They settled for, the deal includes $425 million that the school.
It's amazing.
That the school will pay to the 332 current claimants, and $75 million will be set aside in a trust to protect against any future claims of sexual abuse by Nassar.
Everybody wants to know what the VIPs are going to get. Are they going to get premier Asian dining?
Yes, they are.
They are. Okay. Good.
And also, this is just one more story before I get to the break part. Amazon to give Prime members extra discounts at Whole Foods.
Yeah, I got that email a couple of days ago.
So the question is, will you go? This could be a good poll question tomorrow. Will
Wait,
you
how
go to Whole Foods?
How do you cash in on your discount?
I think they just have to look you up when you get to the store, and if you're a Prime member, you get 10% off. I think of the.
If that had
groceries.
said I was getting a discounted Market Basket, I would have opened up the email, right? Otherwise, no, I don't care.
All right, so now let's get to some of these NBC problems for Andy Lack.
Okay.
It says 12 scandals currently rocking Lack and NBC
I don't
News.
think you got time for 12. Just
I'll
go
read a
quick.
couple of my favorites. Joy Reid caught lying.
Okay.
Wait, have they caught the hacker yet?
This is one people forgot. NBC News paid off a woman who accused Hardball host Chris Matthews of sexual harassment.
Right. I didn't forget that one. Comrade Chris.
The Michael Cohen wiretapping that ended up
that's
not
the most
being
recent one.
Right.
Yep.
Morning Joe co-host Mika Brzezinski attacking Leanne Tweeden, who presented photographic proof of disgraced former Senator Al Franken groping her, and Mika Brzezinski also defending her pal Mark Halperin after he basically, it was very clear.
Perv.
Tom Brokaw being the latest.
Perv.
The letter they had all the women sign / force the women to sign defending Tom Brokaw.
What about Harold Ford, the third guy on Morning Joe, accused of being a perv? He kind of beat the rap.
NBC News sent Ronan Farrow and his bombshell reporting about Harvey Weinstein packing.
Spiked the story.
NBC News reported that NBC News has released an investigation by NBC News that found no evidence of wrongdoing at NBC News.
That was a good one.
Yeah. I'm sure there's more to come, though. Don't worry, Andy Lack.
Why don't you tweet that out?
I'm sure there'll be more. Will do, sir.
Okay. We'll be right back. I'm Howie Carr.
Ready to celebrate summer with a new car or truck? At Bank Chevrolet Buick GMC, we make it as easy as a day at the beach. With over 2,000 vehicles in stock and the lowest, most transparent pricing, you can see why Banks is New England's highest volume GM dealer. Enjoy the ease of summer with a friendly, no-pressure staff. With our full-service internet department, you can take care of the details before you even walk through the door. Right now, lease a 2018 GMC Sierra all-wheel drive double cab elevation edition for only $309 per month for 36 months. Current GM lessees take advantage of this great offer with up to $12,000 off or zero cash down. See dealer for details. Come see the difference at New England's highest volume GM dealer, Bank Chevrolet Buick GMC, just minutes away in Concord, New Hampshire. Check out all of this month's specials online at banksautos.com. GMC, we are professional grade. Real prices, huge inventory, always in stock.
Poor water quality is a major health issue, and it's only getting worse. Municipalities can't keep up, standards have dropped, and pollutants are increasing. Where does it all end? It ends by keeping the pollutants outside of your home with HydroCare's advanced systems available at Wave Home Solutions. No less than the best purification materials and processes have been developed by HydroCare to provide you with healthy, clean water for drinking, cooking, and showering. HydroCare far surpasses the competition in removing chlorine, odors, iron, lead, chemicals, limescale, and much more. Don't settle for less when it comes to your water. We'll take care of the toughest water problems for you, whether it's from a city or well source. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, call 888-997-WAVE. That's 888-997-WAVE. Or go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
And we will much about that be committed. So there's no real conflict. Michael Druniak, including Lincoln himself, Daniel Day-Lewis. Behind Monica Lewinsky, the one and only Trey Songz is here. But Allison Lundergan Grimes, Gina DeJesus. When Gina DeJesus, Tea Party challenger Matt Bibbin. People don't want to have their Social Security overall. The Republican savior, Mark Rubio's big night in evolution and Galileo. I mean, this whole thing of Galileo. America's changed. unless IT and Skillets, President Putin doing something similar back in, it won't change this fundamental fact about the GOP. Just how absurd these attacks is.
You're listening to the Howie Carr Show.
Poor water quality is a major health issue, and it's only getting worse. Municipalities can't keep up, standards have dropped, and pollutants are increasing. Where does it all end? It ends by keeping the pollutants outside of your home with HydroCare's advanced systems available at Wave Home Solutions. No less than the best purification materials and processes have been developed by HydroCare to provide you with healthy, clean water for drinking, cooking, and showering. HydroCare far surpasses the competition in removing chlorine, odors, iron, lead, chemicals, limescale, and much more. Don't settle for less when it comes to your water. We'll take care of the toughest water problems for you, whether it's from a city or well source. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, call 888-997-WAVE. That's 888-997-WAVE. Or go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
To buy your home, you became a house hunting ace, learned about loans, scoured neighborhoods, and asked the right questions. Now you're queen of your castle. If you manage that, you can get your retirement plan on track. Visiting aceyourretirement.org can help. With 401k tips and smart saving strategies, you'll feel empowered to own your retirement like you own your home. Go to aceyourretirement.org. Because when it comes to clearing financial hurdles, you're an ace. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council. When you went car shopping, you meant business. You ace vehicle history searches and test drives. You out-salesmaned the salesman. Now you've got your wheels. If you manage that, you can get your retirement plan on track. Visiting aceyourretirement.org can help. With 401k tips and smart saving strategies, you'll have the info you need to get more for your future. Go to aceyourretirement.org. Because when it comes to speeding past financial challenges, you're an ace. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
And now it's time for Presidential Facts with Steve Robinson.
Although Thomas Jefferson and John Adams are recognized as founding fathers, neither of them attended the Constitutional Convention, and neither of them actually signed the document. George Washington and John Madison were the only presidents who signed the United States Constitution. John Adams and Thomas Jefferson once went to see William Shakespeare's home in 1786. They then ripped off a piece of Shakespeare's chair with a knife to take home as a memento. Did you know that Thomas Jefferson invented the swivel chair? James Madison was a little guy. He weighed under 100 pounds and was only 5'4". Little James. John Quincy Adams and Herbert Hoover both had pet alligators. Andrew Jackson once taught his parrot how to curse. It was so bad the parrot had to be removed from Jackson's funeral for swearing too much. Martin Van Buren was the first United States president to be born a citizen of the United States, but his first language was Dutch because he grew up in the Dutch part of New York called Kinderhook.
You're listening to the Howie Carr Show.
And now it's time for Presidential Facts with Steve Robinson.
William Henry Harrison commissioned bottles of hard cider in the shape of log cabins as part of his presidential campaign. When James K. Polk was 17, he had surgery to remove gallstones without any anesthesia or antiseptic. Zachary Taylor died suddenly, and while the exact cause of his death is still disputed, some historians think it originated from eating cherries in iced milk. President Franklin Pierce, a Bowdoin guy, was arrested for running over an old woman with his horse. The charges were later dropped. Andrew Johnson was completely hammered at his vice presidential inauguration in 1865. Ulysses S. Grant once got a speeding ticket on his horse. He was fined $20. Rutherford B. Hayes signed the act that allowed women to plead cases before the Supreme Court, making it legal for women to practice in the court system. And they say Rutherford never did anything.
You've probably heard about all the great benefits of goat milk soap, but did you know some companies take shortcuts? At Old New England Soap, we make our organic goat's milk soap using 36% goat's milk. That's 17% more than most others. Our bars are larger, so they last longer, producing lots of lather packed with vitamins. And our soap is a natural moisturizer that smooths dry and damaged skin. Order online at oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. You've tried the rest. Now try the best. oldnesoap.com.
Water-based soaps on supermarket shelves use harsh chemical acids to break down dead skin cells. And that's just not good for you. At Old New England Soap, our soaps are made without chemical ingredients, contain no alcohol or petroleum products, and use 85% organic materials and carry the USDA's organic certification. Try some today. Go to oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. oldnesoap.com.
Music Drives Us is a registered 501c3 nonprofit organization. Since 2006, we have supported hundreds of organizations and performance artists who share a common goal, using music to enrich the lives of others. Thanks to your generosity, New England, we're able to continue our musical mission. And now, we've made it even easier and cooler to show your support for Music Drives Us with our signature guitar pick bracelets. Featuring a sleek, beaded black-on-black design, you can rock the look you love to keep music rolling.
Better strap yourself in. It's time for the Howie Carr Show.
The facts of what happened to Katie Steinle only make sense on one level, which is but for. But for that guy being in this country when he shouldn't have been, she would have never died. But the facts of it, he was not, the idea of what he was painted as, that there's a monster in our midst and there's so many just like him, the facts don't line up on it. And it's always been a gross abuse of the situation.
Live from the Matthews Brothers Studios.
Your agency will be separating children from their parents. And I
No,
would
what we'll be doing is prosecuting parents who've broken the law, just as we do every day in the United States of America.
I can appreciate that. But if that parent has a 4-year-old child, what do you plan on doing with that child?
The child under law goes to HHS for care and custody.
They will be separated from their parent.
Just
And
like
so my
we do in the
question-
United States
so-
every day.
Who's your captain? Howie Carr.
Do you see yourself under any circumstance talking to Hamas?
As long as they seek our destruction, what am I going to talk about? I mean, if somebody said, could you talk to Al-Qaeda? Would you have discussions with bin Laden? About what?
Unchained and unstoppable.
They want people who hate Donald Trump, that want him to be removed as president, that will do anything to, set him up, use false information, whatever. That's the kind of people they prefer. But if you don't absolutely hate Donald Trump and want him removed, Rosenstein doesn't really care about using you for a source.
Who do you love? Howie Carr.
I'm not just talking about inner city Newark. I've had the privilege now of traveling to Midwestern communities, traveling to the rural South, traveling out West. I've read books like Hillbilly Elegy and everything I can to try to understand other folks. I don't think he realizes how insulting he's being.
Rump swabs, hacks, and moonbats beware. It's Howie Carr.
Sometimes I feel like I'm in the movie Groundhog. I'm Bill Murray, and every day I wake up and I turn on the TV and I'm seeing the same story over and over and over again. And it's not like the story's being advanced, like there's a new development in the story. Like we've, caught somebody who robbed a bank or something. And yesterday the story was he robbed the bank. Today he's surrounded, and the next day he's being arraigned. No, this is the same story day after day after day. I'm referring to Stormy Daniels and the President of the United States. Now, I seem to recall first reading the story about Stormy Daniels. A porn star has an affair with presidential candidate Donald Trump before the election. Before, it was in the Wall Street Journal. I know it was. I saw it. Then after the election, there was a story in the Wall Street Journal. Michael Cohen, president's lawyer, paid $130,000 to Stormy Daniels. Well, I assume somebody paid her. It was in because that was the second time I read the story. So then, a couple of weeks later, Rudy Giuliani, the former mayor of New York City, presidential candidate, gets hired as Donald Trump's lawyer. And he says the president reimbursed Michael Cohen for paying Stormy Daniels as part of the NDA, the non-disclosure agreement, not to talk about her one-night stand with Donald Trump. Okay? So now that's at least 3 times I've seen the stories. And if you want to include like Stormy being on 60 Minutes, and if you want to include Stormy's Make America Horny Again tour, which has been like packing them in South Carolina and Florida, right near Mar-a-Lago in Florida, South Florida. It's even more than that. But so today, the president files his disclosure form, his federal income disclosure form. All federal officials have to do it. The Senate candidates have to do it, for instance, today as well. And guess what? President Trump made a payment to Michael Cohen to pay for Stormy Daniels. Well, again, of course he did. Wait, how is this a new story? His lawyer confirmed it. His new lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, confirmed that he'd paid the old lawyer who had confirmed it to the Wall Street Journal before the election. I mean, how many times can they run with the same story? This is different than fake news. Fake news is when they just make it up. Like the story about the wiretaps on Michael Cohen's phone. Michael Cohen, the lawyer who made the payment to Stormy Daniels from the money that the president's new lawyer said he got, and now we know from the president filing his financial disclosure that he did pay.
You know what's lost in this too is if Michael Avenatti wins the case, what does that look like? Like, what does he want?
Yeah, what does he want? He wants the non-disclosure agreement voided, but she's already been on 60 Minutes. It's the first time 60 Minutes has had more than 10 million people watching it for the last 15, 20 years. So she's going around making all this money, putting this gel on herself at the Make America Horny Again appearances at the strip clubs, and people are putting 50s and 100s and 20s on her body. I just don't understand how is it that the American people do we have no attention span left here? I mean, what is it?
That's exactly what it is. I mean, people don't have the attention span, and these online publications can get, instead of 1 million clicks out of a story, they can get 4 million clicks out of a story if they run it 4 times, just rewritten a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean, I look at the headline now when I'm clicking around, and I see Donald Trump paid Stormy Daniels, and again, I'm getting the Groundhog Day vibe. I'm hearing what am I gonna next? I'm gonna hear Sonny and Cher singing "I Got You, Babe." How many times do I have to see the same thing?
Well, the thing is, you're not suffering from Trump derangement syndrome. The people who are suffering from Trump derangement syndrome are looking for a cure, and they think that Stormy Daniels is that cure. They're like searching for the Holy Grail, the thing that is going to take down President Trump. So they have to read every single one of these Stormy Daniels stories.
The new thing today is just how much John Brennan, the CIA boss, the guy who voted for the Communist Party candidate Gus Hall for president in 1976, is how much he was into this. And there was some guy, I don't even know who did it, who wrote the story, but he said, whenever you see any of these people, whether it's Brennan or Clapper or Comey, talk about Russian collusion. We were doing an investigation into Russian collusion. This is a very serious matter, the Russian collusion. What the words Russian collusion really mean, always substitute Trump campaign. That's what it is. It's not an investigation into Russian collusion. It's an investigation into the Trump campaign. This is Russian collusion is the fig leaf to explain the whole thing.
The pretext.
The pretext. You love that word, pretext.
I do, because it's so fitting.
But, and again, now that I think about it, another word for Trump campaign is Stormy Daniels. Stormy Daniels. There was corruption in Stormy Daniels. Trump campaign. What? Let's get to the bottom of Russian collusion. Trump campaign. Howard, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Howard.
Hey, I just wondered, did Stormy Daniels pay any income tax on all this money she got? And I thought prostitution was illegal. Has she ever been investigated?
Howard, that is really an excellent point. I don't know about any of the other monies, but there was a huge story apparently in the Palm Beach Post about her appearance, down at one of the strip clubs on the Military Trail or somewhere in West Palm, and they said that people were like putting $100 bills on her, sticking them to her body. I mean, I hope she's paying income tax on that, Howard. The police commissioner of the city of Baltimore just had to resign because he didn't prioritize his personal life well enough, he said. He didn't prioritize his personal life and neglected to pay income taxes for 3 years. Don't you? I hate it when I forget to pay income taxes for 3 years, Howard. How about you?
Yeah, well, I have to pay mine. But, if she, prostitution's illegal, too. There's 2 strikes against her.
Yeah, no, she and Avenatti, he still hasn't come up with a coherent explanation where he got all this money to pay off all of his debts. He owed apparently $4 million at New Year's, and then he somehow came up with $6 million. He owed $6 million. He owed $4 million just to his employees from all these various failed business ventures. He came up with like $8 million, and he claims it all came from crowdsourcing and GoFundMe pages and that kind of stuff. Because Stormy Daniels didn't pay him anything. And
it's easy criticizing Avenatti. We might get an angry email from him.
That's good. He can call me he can call me the same thing he called the reporter from the Hollywood Reporter yesterday. I've been called worse than that. 844-500-4242. We'll take some more calls about this. How many times can they run with the story about Stormy Daniels? I mean, this is like the little boy crying wolf. There's nothing new here. And yet they go with it night after night after night. Howie Carr. I'm Howie Carr.
Keep it here, chumps. More Howie Carr after this.
This hour of the Howie Carr Show is powered by Elizabeth Crampton. Find the best buyer for your home or find your new home with Elizabeth Crampton at FindBostonLiving.com. FindBostonLiving.com. It's important to protect your home with a home security system. But how many home security companies are actually thinking, how can we protect your home and your privacy? That's what I love about SimpliSafe. They obsess over details like no other home security system. Here's an example. SimpliSafe has a camera you can control from your phone, but they want to protect your home and your privacy. So they came up with this brilliant idea, a privacy shutter for their camera. Now SimpliSafe wanted you to be able to hear the shutter click so you know it's closed. They wanted it to have a light on it so you can easily tell when it's on or when it's off. And they needed it to work for the entire lifespan of the system. So SimpliSafe got to work testing different metals and hinge designs for months and months. The result? An effective home security camera with a thin, lightweight aluminum privacy shutter that will work every time. It's that kind of attention to detail that sets SimpliSafe apart and keeps your family safe. SimpliSafe isn't just home security, it's home security done right. Check out SimpliSafe today at SimpliSafeHowie.com. That's SimpliSafeHowie.com to learn more about SimpliSafe today. SimpliSafeHowie.com.
So the cloud hanging over Donald Trump as he becomes president of the United States, especially when it comes to foreign policy, has to do with Russia. Obviously, a lot of unanswered questions.
More now on the cloud that seems to be hanging over the Trump administration.
That cloud hanging over the administration, continued questions.
Because this has been the cloud hanging over
the Trump administration.
There's more breaking news on the cloud of suspicion hanging over this White House.
The Russia cloud hanging over the Trump administration.
And the Russia cloud doesn't appear to be moving out of Washington.
Now to that other dark cloud hanging over the Trump administration, the Russia investigations.
The Russia probe is the dark cloud on the horizon.
If Bob Mueller and this cloud of the Russia investigation.
But with the dark cloud of the Russia investigation hanging over him.
And it's been this cloud that's been hanging over the presidency of Donald Trump.
But hanging over it all, the darkening cloud.
President Trump is really eager to get the cloud of Russia that's hanging over the White House away from him.
I'm getting older and noticing that my body just doesn't work as well as it used to. So I like to keep fit as possible by hitting the gym a few times a week. Recently, I started having a nagging bicep pain and it got so bad I couldn't even lift the weights. When I was complaining about it to a friend, he told me about Angioprim. He said chelation helps remove toxins, heavy metals, and cholesterol in veins and arteries that may cause blockages. You know, after just 1 week of taking Angioprim, the pain was gone and now I'm back in the gym full strength. Scientific research proves the active ingredient in Angioprim has superior oral chelation action that helps promote cardiovascular health. So to learn more, go to angioprim.com. That's ANGIOPRIM.com, or talk to a trained consultant. Call Angioprim toll free at 877-882-7221. You'll feel better with more energy. Call 877-882-7221 or go to the website angioprim.com.
We are living in some interesting times. Businesses are being bought and sold left and right, so the company you've been doing business with for decades all of a sudden has been replaced by a new company. Why is this important? Well, sir, two of the most important aspects in making a buying decision are the reputation of the manufacturer and the strength of their warranty. As long as the company who made your product is still around and has the same ownership, you generally don't have any worries. But if it's not, or it isn't, and you have a problem, you could find yourself in a who's on first conversation trying to get it resolved. You see, when companies are sold or traded, oftentimes those bulletproof warranties they provided when you bought their product went bye-bye with the previous owners. We here at Matthews Brothers are proud to state that after 164 years, we're not only America's oldest window manufacturer, but we're also one of America's oldest family businesses. So the family business you've been dealing with for decades is the same family business today. Not only that, all our windows and doors come with some of the strongest warranties in the business. So who cares who's on first? You can learn more about our wicked awesome Maine-made windows, but only at Better Lumberyards and Window Professionals, or on the web at MatthewsBrothers.com. Matthews Brothers with one T, America's oldest window manufacturer.
This is Chris in Rochester, Mass.
This is Mark in Nashville, New Hampshire.
This is Lorna in Truxtown, Pennsylvania. And this is the Howie Carr Show.
Today's poll question is brought to you by Simply Safe. Simply Safe obsesses over details like no other home security company. They have a camera you can control from your phone, and they have put a privacy shutter on it so they can protect your home and your privacy. Learn more today at simplysafehowie.com. That's simplysafehowie.com. Steve, what's the poll question? What are the results thus far?
Should NATO kick out Turkey?
Yes.
87% say yes, Howie.
Tired of this BS from Turkey, our NATO ally. The Soviet Union is gone, so no need to have Turkey. I know we got nukes on there, the Air Force bases we have in Turkey. We'll just move them, in my opinion. All right, you want to know another Groundhog Day story that's running today? The Senate Intelligence Committee has released the testimony of Donald Trump Jr. about the meeting at Trump Tower with the Russian lawyer. I think he already released all of his emails setting up the meeting, didn't he? He did that months ago, maybe a year ago? He tweeted out links to all of his emails. And so now we're getting his testimony, and he's tweeted out links to the testimony. He's so afraid of what he said. And by the way, how come all these cable shows, not all of them, but you know the two networks I'm talking about and the newspapers I'm talking about and the websites I'm talking about, how come nobody ever mentions on the alt-left side that the day before Trump and Kushner and Manafort had the meeting with the Russian lawyer had a meeting with another guy whose fingerprints are all over this by the name of Glenn Simpson. Does that name ring a bell? He owns Fusion GPS. He's the one who took the money from the Hillary Clinton campaign. And he also was working for Russian oligarchs at the same time. He was working for Hillary and Russians. And he had a meeting with the Russian lawyer who was also working for Russian oligarchs before she went over to Trump Tower to meet with Trump Jr., the son-in-law, and the campaign manager. And then after she had the meeting, which lasted a really lengthy 20 minutes, and apparently Donald Trump Jr. and Jared Kushner were so impressed, they started they started checking their emails and texting during the meeting. It was going nowhere. She then went back and had another meeting with Glenn Simpson the day after her meeting. How come that's not mentioned in any of these stories? But it's Groundhog Day, because I read the story. I say, okay. He had a meeting with a Russian lawyer. Okay. And then I'm thinking for the millionth time, now they're going to mention that she had these two meetings before and after the meeting with Glenn Simpson. And they never do. Never, not once, not a single time. Rich, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Rich.
Hey, Howie.
Hi.
Howie, I hate to say this, but when you bring up the subject of Trump financial disclosures, the first thing I think of is how we haven't seen Trump's income tax returns he promised to turn over 2 years ago. And please don't use the audit excuse, because that's been debunked already.
Okay. Have we seen Obama's records from Occidental?
We've seen every candidate.
We haven't. Wait a second. Have we seen Clinton's health records?
I'm talking about income tax returns that everybody's disclosed except for Trump, who promised he would and didn't.
Well, I guess he hasn't done that, Rich. I think he should. Didn't he say that when Hillary Clinton comes up with the 33,000 missing emails, he'll release his income tax? Isn't that the deal? I thought that was the deal. When is she got? Hey, by the way, in that backpack she was carrying on, that you saw the picture of, are the emails in that backpack, Rich?
And he gets to dictate the rules, just like everything else.
I think that the best reason for Trump not to release his tax returns is because he doesn't want to.
Yeah, Hillary Clinton didn't want to release her emails. Bill Clinton didn't want to release his health records. Obama didn't want us to see what country he listed as he was a citizen of when he applied to Occidental, Columbia, and Harvard Law School. So all of them have the right to do whatever they want to do, don't they, Rich? There's no law that says you have to release them. Apparently, in Hillary's case, there was a law. There was a subpoena that said she had to turn over the emails, and she didn't care about that, did she? George, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, George.
Yeah, so 3 quick points. First, 2 are about me, 1 about Grace. Over the last couple of years, Grace's confidence, she's so different from, when she first started on your show. Which is a good thing.
Yes, it is.
And, it's funny. It is. And on Phil's show, Paleologos, I know you're on, he always plays that Stormy song. It's so funny when he talks about Daniels. But the smartest person in the room with this entire investigation about Russia over the last 2 years or longer has been Stormy Daniels. She is making so much money because after she's done with her interviews and her testifying and the 100,000, 130 she got, she's in strip clubs getting probably stipends for pictures, T-shirts, whatever you can imagine. This girl is raking it in every single day of the week, selling out strip clubs, and she really doesn't get much on her, right? I mean, she goes pretty much unscathed. Her lawyer's a scumbag, but we know what we're getting with her. She's a porn star who makes money on TV faking whatever her acting is. So,
and she's 39. She's 39 years old, going on 59. That's what she looks like, anyway. Thanks for the call, George. We'll be right back with Joe DeGenova, the former U.S. attorney in D.C. I'm Howie Carr.
A 80% of Massachusetts got a tax break. But Senator Elizabeth Warren says,
this tax bill is terrible.
Wrong again, Senator. We deserve better than Elizabeth Warren. Jeff Deal saved taxpayers $2 billion when he took on the special interest to defeat the automatic gas tax, the only Massachusetts tax cut in 7 years. And Jeff is the only candidate for Senate with the guts to support building the wall and a proven track record fighting sanctuary cities.
I'm Jeff Deal, and I approve this message.
Paid for and authorized by Deal for U.S. Senate.
Are you looking for a pre-owned car? Well, before you go to the dealership where you'll be pounced on by pushy salespeople, give the Car Guys a try. I'm Bill Papageorge, and my job is to make finding the perfect used car as easy as possible. That means I do all of the tough legwork for you. Once I figure out what you want out of a car, I go find it. I've been in this business for a long time, and I know what to look out for. I won't bring you a car unless I know it will meet or exceed your expectations. So give me a call at 800-300-4600. That is 800-300-4600.
But resist we much. We must.
They're all jitty about a shutdown. The tortoise in the race. Then co-author of Hubris. U2 lead singer Bono. Fran Drescher. Sigourney Weaver. Suspect Jahar Tsarnaev. Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor. Is Mike Muckery yesterday. Antonin Scalia. Kim Kardashian and the Republican candidates for Cairo and Benghazi. We rank behind Lavita. First stop, Kazakhstan to college students in Beijing. He's getting lunch at Chipotle in Iowa. Maine is appropriate. The GOP's tax day giveaway to millionaires. Why was traffic problems email sent?
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
If you have hard water, the Lime Scale not only leaves white spots, it clogs pipes and breaks down appliances, costing you hundreds of dollars in energy and wear. Eliminate Lime Scale and other water issues like brown staining and bad odors with HydroCare water products, available from Wave Home Solutions. Wave's affordable water systems don't use salts or chemicals. You'll love the way your water tastes, smells, and looks. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
Unexpected reactions to smart financial decisions brought to you by feedthepig.org.
Well, I finally did it. I opened a 401k.
So you're giving up? Just like that?
Giving up on what?
On getting an inheritance from a distant relative.
Don't you think if there were a billionaire in the family, we'd know about it by now?
Listen to me. We are one phone call away from riding horses on our own private polo grounds. One call from christening yachts, having a butler, using summer as a verb.
How do you figure?
Look, everyone's got a rich uncle somewhere. It's statistics. So the best thing you can do is just prepare for the inevitable.
Right, which is why I thought maybe it would be smart to take control of my finances. You know, start using a budget, get out of debt, set some retirement goals.
Budgets? Debt? You watch your mouth. Retirement shouldn't be a goal for us. It should be a way of life.
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
This is the Howie Carr Show, live from Chappaquiddick at the Party House. 25 years after Chappaquiddick 1969. On WHDH, News Talk 850.
Another bad song from 1969. 742-0850. We're going to take some calls this segment if you want to get on board. If you have any questions for John Farrar, the scuba diver who saw Mary Jo Kopechne's body underwater. The number again, 742-0850. We're going to start talking about the incident and everyone's perceptions. John, let me just get this straight. So now, as far as your belief is that while Ted Kennedy was walking past all these houses back towards the Party House where we're broadcasting from now, Mary Jo was still alive.
That is correct.
And she would have been alive probably for about an hour, you think?
I think that's most reasonable, and if an hour, if not longer, that's correct.
If not.
Celebrating 25 years on the air, this is the Howie Carr Show.
844-500-4242. Joining us now is Joe DeGeneva, the former U.S. attorney in D.C., and he's been a real critic of the FBI and this so-called Russian collusion campaign. And Joe, the New York Times is now recycling a news story. They claim that it's filled with bombshells. As far as I can see, there's only one new fact in here. They've come up with the name of the investigation that the FBI used, Crossfire Hurricane from the Rolling Stones song. What is it? Jumping Jack Flash. That's the only thing I see. The rest of it is just a rehash.
Yes, it's also a new theory of how they were really trying to help Trump by going easy on him. This is the New York Times has become a fabulous way to understand how really corrupt the FBI and the Department of Justice became under the Obama administration. And apparently John Brennan and Jim Comey are filtering to them any inconceivable notion about those investigations that they want to print. And the New York Times is just happy to print it.
Right. I love this. There are a couple of sentences I just read. This thing just moved a few minutes ago. The facts, had they surfaced, might have devastated the Trump campaign.
Yeah.
There's nothing, but there's nothing there, Joe. 2 years later, there's nothing there, but the facts might have devastated the campaign. What facts?
Right. I actually don't see any. And the one thing I do see after more than 2 years of looking at this as an old U.S. attorney is that during that period of time when the FBI pretended, and I underscore pretended because this is where your favorite word, pretext, comes in, pretended to be investigating Hillary Clinton, they were in fact trying to subvert the candidacy of Donald Trump. Let me just tell you something. My whole body just absolutely convulses when I listen to the idiots on national television who dare to suggest that those of us who believe that there was a brazen plot to exonerate Hillary Clinton illegally, and then if she lost, to frame Donald Trump, to suggest that we are, quote, conspiracy theorists. I gladly say that I am. The only difference is I have evidence to substantiate the conspiracy. And in fact, if I were still a U.S. attorney, I would have an indictment of about 9 different people in 3 days on the facts that are readily available on the public record. Brennan needs a lawyer. Clapper needs a lawyer. Comey needs a lawyer. And so do about 6 people at the hierarchy of DOJ and the FBI and the Obama administration. This notion in the New York Times that they had some serious evidence against Trump, what they're doing now is they're trying to protect the informant, the spy, the agent provocateur from England.
Oh, I'm glad somebody else is using that word. Yes, I love that. That's what he was.
Who was planting false evidence with 2 people, Carter Page and George Papadopoulos, so that they would repeat it, and then the FBI could pretend to pick it up and then use it to get FISA warrants. This is so sinister, so treacherous, so inconsistent, and so un-American that any Democrat who, like this idiot Adam Schiff from California, who pretends to believe that the FBI was acting properly in this, is a moron, a purposeful moron. They're beyond the useful idiots that the communists used to use.
Right. How about this paragraph? Let me just read you this paragraph, Joe, and then we can go back. I want to talk about Brennan, but let me read you this. I love this. A review of
Yeah.
documents show that the FBI was even more circumspect in the case than has been previously known. Many of the officials spoke on condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to discuss the investigation publicly. They were so hard. It was so hard to draw them out, Joe, that this thing only runs about 20,000 words. You know? I mean, who are they kidding here? How stupid do they think the American people are?
Now, if Jeff Sessions is a good little boy and knows his job, what he does this afternoon is he grabs little Rod Rosenstein, Frankenstein's monster, by the scruff of the neck, and he says, look, you SOB, you get a frickin' grand jury right now and get a subpoena to everybody at the senior levels of the FBI and former senior FBI officials, put them in the grand jury and ask them who talked to the New York Times.
Right.
That's what you do if you're a real cop, and I don't think Sessions is.
You know, they're talking about how they sent Strzok over, which we knew anyway. I mean, we've known this. They keep saying they got all these new details. We knew they sent Strzok over there to talk to the guy I call Pickle Nose. You know, the agent provocateur. And you know what's missing in this story, Joe? I've just looked over it very quickly. The famous quote from Strzok, which Andy McCarthy used in his piece in the National Review: "There is no there." Right?
That's right.
I mean, isn't that the money quote from all of those texts between Strzok and Page? There is no there. So what's the point of all this?
Comey, Clapper, and Brennan wanted so badly to find something on Trump so they could ruin his presidential bid, or, if that didn't fail, ruin his presidency. I simply don't understand how Jeff Sessions, as Attorney General, has not seen this and analyzed it and understands what is afoot, which is a coup d'etat. And if he can't see that, he's not competent to be Attorney General. He hasn't recused himself from understanding that a presidency is being assaulted illegitimately by Mueller and by current and former people in the FBI and the intelligence community. If you can't see that, if you can't sense that, as I said on your show before, crime has a cadence. It has a feel to it. And when you're a good cop, when you're a good prosecutor, you know it when you see it. And if he can't see this, if this doesn't just reach out and grab his cojones, he's not bright. He's not competent to be Attorney General.
How about this? Here's another quote from Strzok. And this was, again, Andy McCarthy mentioned this after he went through all the newly released emails or texts between Strzok and his girlfriend, Lisa Page. He's quoting somebody whose name was redacted. And here's the quote from Strzok. The White House is running this. The White House is running this. They never had a smoking gun like that on Nixon. You know? I mean, they had him They had him trying to get money for the burglars, but they never had him running the whole thing. I mean, this is a guy who's in the conspiracy. This is like Ehrlichman saying the White House is running this burglary, right? And yet it's not getting any publicity other than on this show and a few others.
This is Ben Rhodes and Susan Rice, all those people who were part of the unmasking scheme, which was designed by Brennan. The unmasking and then the purposeful unmasking was followed by the illegal criminal leaking of the names of those people and the substance of their comments. And I'm going to tell you something. This has now gotten to the point where if it comes out that Jeff Sessions has not authorized a grand jury into all those unmaskings, all those leaks, and if people like Samantha Power and Susan Rice and Ben Rhodes and John Brennan and James Clapper have not been authorized for subpoenas, even if they haven't been subpoenas yet, if he has not authorized that, he's going to be fired. And I'll tell you why. When Rosenstein and Sessions went to the White House twice in the last 2 weeks to meet with General Kelly, the chief of staff of the president, they were told, your jobs are not secure. The president.
How do you know that?
To his scuppers.
How do you know that,
Joe? The president. Let me finish, Howie. The president has had it up to his scuppers with these clowns, and he has every right in the world to be furious with the incompetence of the Department of Justice under Rosenstein and Sessions. I have been told that by people who know.
Rudy?
Oh, I have not talked to Rudy in a while. My wife's talked to Rudy, but Rudy didn't talk about this.
So the president really is angry. Is that what you're saying? I mean, because I've mentioned it to him months ago when I saw him, and he kind of grimaces. And you've talked to him, I know, because you were thinking about being his lawyer. I mean, you know how he grimaces, and he doesn't think he can do anything, and he's trying to take a.
He does feel that way. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's because he has been told by the White House counsel, Don McGahn, that he has to stay away from the Justice Department. And the president himself has said that publicly. He says, I might change my mind. I've been told I can't interfere. I can't talk to the Justice Department. He said, I just might change my mind on that. And the truth is, he could change his mind on it anytime he wants because he has every right in the world to be talking to the Justice Department. He is the President of the United States. And if you look at Article 2 in the Constitution, little Article 2, it's one of the most beautiful, the Constitution is one of the most beautifully written documents that has ever come. Let me read to you the first line of Article 2 of the Constitution. Listen to this. Section 1, quote, the executive power shall be vested in a President of the United States of America. That is the entire structure of the executive branch in one sentence. There isn't anything else in Article 2 except that. And these clowns are telling the President of the United States he can't talk to the Attorney General. Guess what? He can talk to anybody in the executive branch he damn well pleases.
How about when Sally Yates keeps saying, and I saw her again last night, some old tape, she says there's always been a firewall between the White House and the Justice Department. I mean, that doesn't pass the laugh test, even if you're in the, if you're in the 10th grade and you've read a comic book about American history.
Sally Yates. Okay, well, here's the book on Sally Yates, who's now with this big Atlanta law firm, King and Spalding. They're just a bunch of apparatchiks. Anyway, so she's the one who went to the White House claiming that Michael Flynn had violated the Logan Act. Do you remember that? When she went to the White House complaining and saying that he could be compromised by the Russians. So what does she think about John Kerry's treacherous, traitorous foray overseas to subvert the president's rescission of the Iran deal? How's that for Logan Act violations, Sally baby?
He's got a D after his name, Joe DeGeneva. You know that. That makes it okay. Hey, listen, is Brennan going to go to prison? Last question. Is Brennan going to prison?
I hope he gets solitary. Let me just tell you this. He's going to need a lawyer, and he's going to a grand jury. Whether or not he ever goes to prison, I don't know. But this is for certain. He should.
Yeah. I go back and forth who I want to see most in prison on any given day. Right today, I want to see John Brennan in prison more than anybody else in this entire country.
Stick with him. He's the worst of the bunch.
I agree. I think he is. I think he's worse than Comey. I think he was using Comey as a foil.
Evil man. And by the way, I don't know if you watched the interview with him the other night on the circus. Did you watch his hands during the interview? That's a guy lying so badly he has to scratch himself while he's answering questions.
I thank you for reminding me not to move my hands too much when I'm on TV, Joe DeGeneva. Thank you for being with us. We appreciate it. I'm Howie Carr.
He's the maestro of microaggression. He's Howie Carr.
This half hour of the Howie Carr Show is powered by Life Change Tea. Food today is full of chemicals, GMOs, herbicides, and pesticides. Cleanse your body of these nasty chemicals with Life Change Tea. You'll feel better and your immune system will be stronger. Go to getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com.
Howie Carr.
The idea of falling into bed at night has taken on a whole new meaning ever since I started sleeping on my Casper mattress. The engineers at Casper have really outdone themselves in creating the most exceptionally comfortable sleep experience ever. Get one and you'll totally understand why it's not just my favorite mattress, but the internet's too.
Casper has created 3 unique mattresses that will help you sleep cool and comfortable year-round. The Wave mattress has remarkable technology built into it and is engineered to relieve pressure at 36 different points. The Casper mattress is more breathable and comfortable than ever and is loved by nearly 1 million happy customers. And the Essential mattress is innovation at a great price point. All Casper mattresses are designed with zone support to coddle and comfort your every move, and they all provide the perfect support for every position you sleep in. See for yourself why Casper has hundreds of thousands of happy customers like me. Try your Casper mattress for 100 nights in your own home with free shipping and returns. Go to Casper.com and use code Howie to save $50 on the purchase of select mattresses. That's Casper.com, code Howie to save $50. Terms and conditions apply. See site for details.
And now it's time for Presidential Facts with Steve Robinson.
William Henry Harrison commissioned bottles of hard cider in the shape of log cabins as part of his presidential campaign. When James K. Polk was 17, he had surgery to remove gallstones without any anesthesia or antiseptic. Zachary Taylor died suddenly, and while the exact cause of his death is still disputed, some historians think it originated from eating cherries in iced milk. President Franklin Pierce, a Bowdoin guy, was arrested for running over an old woman with his horse. The charges were later dropped. Andrew Johnson was completely hammered at his vice presidential inauguration in 1865. Ulysses S. Grant once got a speeding ticket on his horse. He was fined $20. Rutherford B. Hayes signed the act that allowed women to plead cases before the Supreme Court, making it legal for women to practice in the court system. And they say Rutherford never did anything.
Ew, yuck. They're unhealthy. Bugs. I hate bugs. Our home is clean, but occasionally bugs show up. Well, I found something that is tougher than bugs. Orange Guard. From contact, it kills bugs. Plus, Orange Guard kills hidden bugs and keeps new bugs away for weeks. The ingredients in Orange Guard are on the FDA generally regarded as safe list. So Orange Guard may be used around food, humans, and pets. It comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Orange Guard. Available at orangeguard.com and Ace Hardware.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Hey, it's Grace. Can we talk about something serious for a minute? Your age. Getting old has its perks. But remember, being a few years younger, you know, your hair was thicker, you didn't have so many wrinkles, that extra weight wasn't haunting you, and you just felt better. Well, we can't turn back the clocks and go back 10 or 15 years, but you can start feeling and looking 10 or 15 years younger with Nature's Youth RSF. It's a doctor-formulated daily supplement that helps your body maintain its peak performance and fight the aging process. Imagine sleeping better, looking better, and feeling better. See how Nature's Youth RSF has helped thousands of people just like you at nature'syouth.com. nature'syouth.com. Imagine how it will feel when your family and friends are asking you what you did to look so good. Your secret will be Nature's Youth RSF. It's time to start looking better and feeling better. Learn more and order your Nature's Youth RSF at nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com.
This is Jeff in Woodstock, Connecticut.
This is Laura Benner in South Burlington, Vermont.
This is Jimmy Mack in Falmouth, Massachusetts, and this is The Howie Carr Show.
But is right. You know, they are desperate to prevent this guy's name from coming out, Pickle Nose's name from coming out. And it's not so much that anybody had ever heard of this guy, you know, before last week. But if you know the guy and you have a picture of him up on the screen, which I'm still hoping that we can do any day now,
once Devin Nunes and Trey Gowdy go over to the Justice Department and get the release of the name, and they put it out legitimately, not leaked, not whispered, like Andrew McCabe did with Lisa Page, and then lied about it, and now he's facing a criminal probe himself. People will be able to put it together because they'll know exactly who did it, and they'll know this guy's background with his CIA connections and his savings and loan connections and his connections to the Never Trumpers and the fact that he publicly endorsed Hillary. And all of a sudden, he's basically trying to entice these hungry young guys who just they're wannabes. You know, I mean they want to be big shots, and all of a sudden, this guy who goes back to the Nixon days, and he's a professor, and he's married into a CIA family and all this, and he's on the payroll. He's made $400,000 in the last couple of years from the government, even though he's 73 years old. And he's suddenly trying to seduce these guys, not in a sexual sense, but just in a professional sense. He's gonna be their ticket to the top.
I think the most important thing, though, is that he was paying Papadopoulos to write that paper. And Jack Abramoff always said that as soon as he promised somebody work or a job in the future, he had them. And he had their loyalty.
Jack Abramoff was the lobbyist and the con artist who went to prison. He was a Republican operative in the Newt Gingrich days, and that's what they were doing with Papadopoulos. And he was getting Papadopoulos drunk, and then he was feeding him this crazy information about the Russian collusion, and then Papadopoulos would get drunk with the Australian. And the Australian now has been trotted out again in this latest New York Times change the subject story, which is, again, they're just trying to cover it up. Now they're trying to say the FBI really actually went easy on Donald Trump. But here's the problem. They weren't trying to cover up a crime. There was no crime. I mean, isn't that the lesson? We knew it all along. But every day goes by and they turn up nothing. So so what was the FBI trying to cover up for Donald Trump? And then this the craziest thing of all. I read it to Joe DeGeneva about how the facts, had they surfaced, might have devastated the Trump campaign. I'm going to ask the question again. What facts? There aren't any facts. There's no collusion. So there were no facts to devastate the campaign, only lies. I'm Howie Carr. Let's be honest. Hair loss is not one of life's more enjoyable experiences. It makes you self-conscious, erodes your confidence, and causes you to waste years of your life trying to hide, camouflage, and generally obsess over the condition. In short, it pretty much sucks. Until you call DiStefano Hair Restoration and they completely turn your life around with an IGT procedure. Whether you are looking to fill in your hairline or reverse years of hair loss, Dr. Chris Heiness and his team at DiStefano Hair Restoration will create a result that will be a transformative experience. The result of my IGT procedure was quite remarkable. I now have fuller, thicker hair, so I can even wear it a bit longer. With the DiStefano difference, balding and hair loss are now optional. And no matter where you are in New England, DiStefano Hair Restoration is just a short drive away. Call now and get a free IGT consultation. Plus, financing is available with payments as low as $119 a month. Just call 1-800-858-HAIR to learn more. That's 1-800-858-HAIR. Or just visit hairman.com.
You've probably heard about all the great benefits of goat milk soap, but did you know some companies take shortcuts? At Old New England Soap, we make our organic goat's milk soap using 36% goat's milk. That's 17% more than most others. Our bars are larger, so they last longer, producing lots of lather packed with vitamins. And our soap is a natural moisturizer that smooths dry and damaged skin. Order online at oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. You've tried the rest. Now try the best. oldnesoap.com.
Water-based soaps on supermarket shelves use harsh chemical acids to break down dead skin cells. and that's just not good for you. At Old New England Soap, our soaps are made without chemical ingredients, contain no alcohol or petroleum products, and use 85% organic materials and carry the USDA's organic certification. Try some today. Go to oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. oldnesoap.com.
You can call him Fat Boy, just don't call him late for dinner. He's Howie Carr.
We will bring over your entire family from the third world Muslim hellhole that they live in so that they can have an all-expenses-paid, taxpayer-funded with open bar weekend at a nice hotel in Boston, get a nice sightseeing tour, maybe take them to Fenway Park for a game so they can see their savage Muslim terrorist kinsman sentenced to death. But the President of the United States of America can't be allowed to speak before Parliament because he's such a terrible barbarian, as opposed to the dictator of Red China. And I'm going to call it Red China. Since the Dems are down on Russia, we might as well go after all the communist dictatorships that are left, right? Russia isn't even a communist dictatorship, it's just authoritarian now, but let's call it Red China.
You're listening to the Howie Carr Show.
You've probably heard about all the great benefits of goat milk soap, but did you know some companies take shortcuts? At Old New England Soap, we make our organic goat's milk soap using 36% goat's milk. That's 17% more than most others. Our bars are larger, so they last longer, producing lots of lather packed with vitamins. And our soap is a natural moisturizer that smooths dry and damaged skin. Order online at oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. You've tried the rest. Now try the best. oldnesoap.com.
Water-based soaps on supermarket shelves use harsh chemical acids to break down dead skin cells. And that's just not good for you. At Old New England Soap, our soaps are made without chemical ingredients, contain no alcohol or petroleum products, and use 85% organic materials and carry the USDA's organic certification. Try some today. Go to oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. oldnesoap.com.
I'm getting older and noticing that my body just doesn't work as well as it used to. So I like to keep fit as possible by hitting the gym a few times a week. Recently, I started having a nagging bicep pain and it got so bad I couldn't even lift the weights. When I was complaining about it to a friend, he told me about Angioprim. He said chelation helps remove toxins, heavy metals, and cholesterol in veins and arteries that may cause blockages. You know, after just 1 week of taking Angioprim, the pain was gone and now I'm back in the gym full strength. Scientific research proves the active ingredient in Angioprim has superior oral chelation action that helps promote cardiovascular health. So to learn more, go to angioprim.com. That's ANGIOPRIM.com or talk to a trained consultant. Call Angioprim toll free at 877-882-7221. You'll feel better with more energy. Call 877-882-7221 or go to the website angioprim.com.
And now it's time for Presidential Facts with Steve Robinson.
Although Thomas Jefferson and John Adams are recognized as founding fathers, neither of them attended the Constitutional Convention, and neither of them actually signed the document. George Washington and John Madison were the only presidents who signed the United States Constitution. John Adams and Thomas Jefferson once went to see William Shakespeare's home in 1786. They then ripped off a piece of Shakespeare's chair with a knife to take home as a memento. Did you know that Thomas Jefferson invented the swivel chair? James Madison was a little guy. He weighed under 100 pounds and was only 5'4". Little James. John Quincy Adams and Herbert Hoover both had pet alligators. Andrew Jackson once taught his parrot how to curse. It was so bad the parrot had to be removed from Jackson's funeral for swearing too much. Martin Van Buren was the first United States president to be born a citizen of the United States, but his first language was Dutch because he grew up in the Dutch part of New York called Kinderhook.
You're listening to the Howie Carr Show.
Making sure that we don't have high-capacity, rapid-fire magazines that allow mass killings.
Maybe we shouldn't have high magazine clips.
Gas-assisted receiver firearms.
Machine gun magazines.
And what sounded like automatic rounds.
Seeing if we can get automatic weapons that kill folks in amazing numbers.
If I wanted to fire this on full semi-automatic...
Well, why do we need jumbo clips?
The best bill
do you know what a barrel shroud is?
Time. I actually don't know what a barrel shroud is. I believe it's a shoulder thing that goes up.
No, it's not.
What the District of Columbia was trying to do was to protect toddlers from guns.
It is harder to buy cough medicine than it is to buy an AK-47 or 50 of them.
It is easier for a teenager to buy a Glock than get his hands on a computer or even a book.
It's legal to hunt humans with 15-round, 30-round, even 150-round magazines.
Hi, folks. Let's wind the clocks back 60 years. Food was different. Food provided health and nutrition, and using supplements was minimal. Unfortunately, now we have chemicals, GMOs, herbicides, and pesticides that can be quite lethal in the name of our food supply and, of course, the ever-loving dollar. Supplementing our diets can be very important to stay healthy. Cleansing from daily intruders to the body might be critical. Live strong and take charge. Log on to getthetea.com. Our herbal tea is a great way to cleanse from intruders. Our supplements is a great way to maintain and improve your health. When your health is not up to par, go to getthetea.com. No GMOs, no fillers, and organic. And very helpful in keeping you at the top of your game. Life is too short to feel, you know what I mean. Stay in the game, at the top of your game with getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. Again, getthetea.com.
You've probably heard about all the great benefits of goat milk soap, but did you know some companies take shortcuts? At Old New England Soap, we make our organic goat's milk soap using 36% goat's milk. That's 17% more than most others. Our bars are larger, so they last longer, producing lots of lather packed with vitamins. And our soap is a natural moisturizer that smooths dry and damaged skin. Order online at oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. You've tried the rest. Now try the best. oldnesoap.com.
Water-based soaps on supermarket shelves use harsh chemical acids to break down dead skin cells. And that's just not good for you. At Old New England Soap, our soaps are made without it.
Better strap yourself in. It's time for the Howie Carr Show.
The facts of what happened to Katie Steinle only make sense on one level, which is but for. But for that guy being in this country when he shouldn't have been, she would have never died. But the facts of it, he was not, the idea of what he was painted as, that there's a monster in our midst and there's so many just like him, the facts don't line up on it. And it's always been a gross abuse of the situation.
Live from the Matthews Brothers Studios.
Your agency will be separating children from their parents. And I would assume
what we'll be doing is prosecuting parents who've broken the law, just as we do every day in the United States of America.
I can appreciate that. But if that parent has a 4-year-old child, what do you plan on doing with that child?
The child under law goes to HHS for care and custody.
They will be separated from their parent.
Just like we do in the United States every day.
Who's your captain? Howie Carr.
Do you see yourself under any circumstance talking to Hamas?
As long as they seek our destruction, what am I going to talk about? I mean, if somebody said, could you talk to Al-Qaeda? Would you have discussions with bin Laden? About what?
Unchained and unstoppable.
They want people who hate Donald Trump, that want him to be removed as president, that will do anything to, set him up, use false information, whatever. That's the kind of people they prefer. But if you don't absolutely hate Donald Trump and want him removed, Rosenstein doesn't really care about using you for a source.
Who do you love? Howie Carr.
I'm not just talking about inner city Newark. I've had the privilege now of traveling to Midwestern communities, traveling to the rural South, traveling out West. I've read books like Hillbilly Elegy and everything I can to try to understand other folks.
I don't think he realizes how insulting he's being.
Rump swabs, hacks, and moonbats beware. It's Howie Carr.
844-500-4242. Welcome to the Howie Carr Show. You know, one of the things that's come out recently about John Brennan, the head of the CIA, he's He was the key man. He was the godfather. If the feds were treating this like it was a crime family investigation, they always do with not just mafia families, but if it's the Winter Hill gang or a drug cartel in East Boston, Massachusetts, they always put together a chart of with the mug shots of the various people. Brennan's name, the former head of the CIA, he would be at the top of the chart for the Russian collusion crime family, the people who were trying to take the coup, the coup crime family, if you want to call it that. And there's a book out by David Korn and Michael Isikoff. Isikoff's the one who would have broken the story about Monica Lewinsky in Newsweek magazine, but they spiked it to protect Bill Clinton, and Matt Drudge ended up breaking the story. And David Korn is the guy who first broke the story about the dossier, and he's been suspended by various publications since then for various perv actions that he was accused of in the wake of Harvey Weinstein. But they have a book out about the Russian collusion investigation. Apparently, it's a semi-straight report, but they describe Brennan as being very concerned about the operation. Kind of like John Gotti was concerned about his operation, when he was running the Gambino crime family. And he said that the FBI CIA spying on the Trump campaign was a, quote, exceptionally sensitive issue, unquote. Exceptionally sensitive. You know why? Because it was exceptionally illegal. It was an exceptional crime what they were doing. They were trying to mount a coup against the duly elected president of the United States. And they knew it. And they still know it. That's why they become ever more hysterical. Time now for the chump line.
Hello, Stephen. This is your political soulmate calling, Senator Collins. It was so courageous of you to correct your boss's pronunciation on air yesterday. Wherever did you learn how to pronounce biopic? At Bedoin? You're a smart boy, a very smart boy.
Speaking to Susan Collins, she's joined all the Democrats in voting in favor of net neutrality today.
Are you surprised? I'm not surprised. I guess net neutrality prevailed? Did it?
Yeah, there's some CRA that just prevailed in the Senate, I believe.
Why did Mitch McConnell let it come to a vote if he didn't have to vote? So I thought that violated rule number 1 of legislative leadership. You never let anything go to a vote unless you've got the votes to prevail.
Ding, ding, ding went the trolley, ring, ring, ring went the bell. Honest Howie's steam control, oh, it works so well.
Yes, from now on, if you're in a jam and you're accused of insensitivity at any level, political correctness, the Second Amendment, ethnic slurs, transgender phobia, call Honest Howie Steam Control. We have a member of the aggrieved community who will spring to your defense at a reasonable price. The Chump Line is brought to you every weekday at this time by Matthews Brothers, whose Maine-made windows are available only through Better Lumber Yards and window professionals, like Viking Lumber with 9 locations throughout Mid-Coast and down East Maine. Viking Lumber. Call us old-fashioned, and we'll say thanks.
Yeah, Michael Avenatti. He's the next tough guy that's not so tough. Another candy-ass ruffian.
Yeah. Again, another guy who can dish it out, but he can't take it. He's calling reporters and calling them bleepity bleeps. Donald Trump never did that. He calls a reporter back and claims to be named John Barron, Donald Trump's PR guy, and then he attempts to talk the reporter out of the bad story, or he did when he was a New York real estate developer.
Yeah, Howie, I just saw the movie Black Panther, and now I know all there is to know about the black experience, black Democrat voters, you name it.
Yeah, that's a reference to Cory Booker saying yesterday, we put it in the intro, the senator from New Jersey. He read, he went to the Midwest and he read Hillbilly Elegy, and now he understands the white man's experience in America.
Not everybody at the FBI is a weasel. Some of them are moles.
Yeah, this Pickle Nose. Is Pickle Nose an FBI mole or a CIA mole? I guess he's an FBI mole, but it looks to me like increasingly Brennan was pulling the strings, and he brought the FBI in. Stroke was his guy at the FBI, and they kept Comey out of it to a degree so that he could have what Richard Nixon used to call plausible deniability. But of course, the problem with plausible deniability is that 98% of the time it turns out to be implausible deniability, and this is not one of those 2%. The case with Comey.
Hello, Senor Carr. Is I Consuela? Please don't make me work for Senor Long. His wages are inconsistent with my beliefs.
We mentioned earlier that one of the CEOs of the companies that decided to pull his company's ads from Laura Ingram's programs on the radio and on TV, Liberty Mutual. His name is Long, and it turns out he has a mansion on the little island of Nantucket off the coast of Massachusetts, one of the richest islands in America. And he is now fighting tooth and nail after saying that his company's values were inconsistent with Laura Ingraham talking about David Hogg. He's now trying to stop a dorm being built for seasonal workers at the golf course next to his $4.5 million mansion named Summer Wind.
Hey, Grace, we love you, but could you slow it down a little? You sound like Bart Simpson on speed.
She's trying to get everything in, that's all. Plus, I'm interrupting her all the time. Give her a break.
Howie, do you know what book Cory Booker read to learn how to become a hack?
Maybe it was that old book about Chicago politics. Don't make no waves. Don't back no losers.
Hey, Magoo, how much are you charging the VIPs to pose for a picture in your chair? $20, you cheap bastard.
I like being on TV, but, do we have to have the camera on for the entire 4 hours of the show so that they can see everything? Although I learned a long time ago not to pick my nose or to scratch any parts of my body that I wouldn't want anyone else to see me scratching.
Since listening to Snoop Dogg, I have become one with the plight of the black man.
Hey, I listened to Freddie Fender, so I understand the plight of the Latino community.
I'm surprised Booker didn't say, I've watched a couple episodes of Roseanne. I know what's going on in white households.
I watched All in the Family. Just like I watched The Jeffersons. And then I understood the black experience. And he watched All in the Family, and he understands what it's like to be blue-collar in Queens.
What if a white politician said, I watched The Wire, and so now I understand what it's like to be an urban youth?
It's just Cory Booker has gotten away with so much. I mean, did you ever read the story about the water system in Newark? If he ever gets anywhere with running for president, there'll be a lot of stories about the water system in the city of Newark.
Don't worry about that. T-Bone will come up with a good explanation.
Oh, yeah, that's right. There's another one. T-Bone, his fake friend. Is Cory Booker a columnist for the Boston Globe with all these fake friends that he quotes? Does Cory have a composite girlfriend like Barack Obama? What is it with these Democrats and their composite, fake, made-up friends and girlfriends and buddies?
So, Howie, the Somalis can carry cash out of the country, but when Whitey Bulger tries to do it, he gets harassed by a state trooper. It's not fair, Howie. It's not fair.
Yeah, we talked yesterday about how these Somalis in Minnesota are apparently smuggling millions of dollars in cash out of the country, and nobody's stopping them at the Minneapolis airport. It's not just Whitey Bulger, the gangster, trying to take out 50 grand. How about the Codfather down in New Bedford? That guy, he had the biggest fishing fleet in New Bedford, one of the biggest fishing fleets on the east coast of the United States. They put him out of business because he was trying to smuggle cash back to Portugal, where he came from. I mean, he's no terrorist. He was just trying to beat taxes, and he's in prison now. They've shut down his whole fleet. The New Bedford waterfront is reeling, and all he wanted to do was beat a few income taxes. And it was a lot less than the Somalis are smuggling out of Minneapolis.
Grace, it's Howie. Don't tell anyone, but the reason I'm getting in an aeroplane on Thursday is that I'm going to the royal wedding. I never went to prom, so this is going to be a big deal. Should I wear sweatpants and a sweatshirt? No, I'm going to wear the Howie Carr classic. Shirt, tie, sandals, and short pants. Cheerio.
You mean, what's his name is getting married in the Big D? I didn't know that. In Highland Park? That's where I'm going to be.
That was your last chump line message. Thank you for calling Howie Carr, you chump.
All right, that's it for the Chump Line today. The Chump Line is the recorded voicemail message service of the Howie Carr Show. You can call and leave a message at any hour of the day or night, including weekends. Just dial 844-500-4242, 844-500-4242. Press 2 for the Chump Line. Leave your message, and we may or may not play it at this time each weekday. The Chump Line is brought to you every weekday at this time by Matthews Brothers, whose Maine-made windows are available only through Better Lumber Yards and window professionals, like Viking Lumber with 9 locations throughout Mid-Coast and Down East Maine. Viking Lumber. Call us old-fashioned, and we'll say thanks.
Ding, ding, ding with the trolley. Ring, ring, ring with the bell. Honest Howie steam control. Oh, it works so well.
Honest Howie steam control. Yes, go to our website. Reasonable doubt at a reasonable price. I'm Howie Carr.
If you change the station, the Moonbats win. You're listening to the Howie Carr Show.
This hour of the Howie Carr Show is powered by Elizabeth Crampton. Find the best buyer for your home or find your new home with Elizabeth Crampton at FindBostonLiving.com. FindBostonLiving.com.
Our military members embark on a mission of protection and service to a nation and people they love. When returning home, things don't always go as planned. There are over 50,000 veterans homeless in America. The DV Farm in Gilson, New Hampshire is giving some of these veterans a second chance at a new mission, integrating back into society. Without state or federal funding, the DV Farm relies solely on your donations. Please make a tax-deductible donation to dvfarm.org today. One homeless veteran is too many. Let's complete this mission together.
Global Marble and Granite Fabrication and Installation are the preferred choice of designers, architects, developers, and the most discriminating homeowners. The finest marble, granite, natural stones, and quartz, creating luxury kitchen countertops, tub surrounds, fireplaces, outdoor kitchen countertops, and any custom projects. Call to schedule your free estimate, 508-771-1001. That's 508-771-1001. Or visit globalmarbleandgraniteinc.com.
And now it's time for Presidential Facts with Steve Robinson.
John Tyler had 15 children, more than any president. 2 of his grandsons are still alive today. Zachary Taylor was a tough guy, a major general in the U.S. Army and a hero of the Mexican-American War. But oddly enough, what brought him down in the end was a glass of milk and some cherries. The cherries were likely contaminated with bacteria that caused his death by cholera 5 days later. Millard Fillmore's first wife, Abigail Powers, was his teacher when he was a 19-year-old student at the New Hope Academy in New York. Ulysses S. Grant smoked a ton of cigars, at least 20 a day. After a great military victory at the Battle of Shiloh, citizens sent him more than 10,000 boxes of cigars as gratitude. He died from throat cancer in 1885.
Hey, it's Grace. Can we talk about something serious for a minute? Your age. Getting old has its perks. But remember, being a few years younger, you know, your hair was thicker, you didn't have so many wrinkles, that extra weight wasn't haunting you, and you just felt better. Well, we can't turn back the clocks and go back 10 or 15 years, but you can start feeling and looking 10 or 15 years younger with Nature's Youth RSF. It's a doctor-formulated daily supplement that helps your body maintain its peak performance and fight the aging process. Imagine sleeping better, looking better, and feeling better. See how Nature's Youth RSF has helped thousands of people just like you at nature'syouth.com. nature'syouth.com. Imagine how it will feel when your family and friends are asking you what you did to look so good. Your secret will be Nature's Youth RSF. It's time to start looking better and feeling better. Learn more and order your Nature's Youth RSF at nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com. Hey, it's Grace. Can we talk about something serious for a minute? Your age. Getting old has its perks. But remember, being a few years younger, you know, your hair was thicker, you didn't have so many wrinkles, that extra weight wasn't haunting you, and you just felt better. Well, we can't turn back the clocks and go back 10 or 15 years, but you can start feeling and looking 10 or 15 years younger with Nature's Youth RSF. It's a doctor-formulated daily supplement that helps your body maintain its peak performance and fight the aging process. Imagine sleeping better, looking better, and feeling better. See how Nature's Youth RSF has helped thousands of people just like you at nature'syouth.com. nature'syouth.com. Imagine how it will feel when your family and friends are asking you what you did to look so good. Your secret will be Nature's Youth RSF. It's time to start looking better and feeling better. Learn more and order your Nature's Youth RSF at nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com.
This is Gina in Medford, Massachusetts.
Hi, this is John from Newmarket, New Hampshire.
This is Florence Robinson from St. Albans, Maine, and this is the Howie Carr Show.
We're moving our warehouse for the Howie Carr Show store, and so we're trying to move a lot of product before we have the actual move tomorrow, so we have a special going today. 3 of my mob books about the Boston organized crime scene. Rifleman about Stevie Flemmi, that's Whitey Bulger's partner. Ratman about the Whitey Bulger trial 5 years ago in federal court, and Plug Uglies, which is a sort of a coffee table book, hundreds of mugshots and police reports and that kind of thing. So it's a $50 worth of books, and you can get them right today for, what's the price, Steve? I forget. $19.99 plus free shipping. So just go to HowieCarrShow.com and click on the store. It's the moving special. And, the former mafia boss of Boston is on trial for moving bodies, so we're having a moving sale. So that's it. $19.99 for a $50 worth of books about the mob in Boston. HowieCarrShow.com. Click on store. All right, few stories to read here. Disgraced Florida massacre cop. Remember Scott Peterson with the Broward County Sheriff's Department? He's the one who just stayed outside and then claimed he thought the shooter was outside, and then it was all BS. Would you care to guess what his pension is now? $8,702 at $2.35 a month. $8,700 a month. Trump supporter says Cheesecake Factory employees were clenching their fists. It was just sad. This guy was on TV this morning. He's a black kid from Miami, and he was wearing his red Make America Great Again baseball cap on Mother's Day. And he was verbally attacked by the staff at the Cheesecake Factory's restaurant in Miami. He described the moment as just really wrong this morning on TV. They all started getting behind us, and one of the workers was saying, "I'll knock the hat off his head. I'll hit him so hard, I'll knock his hat off." Whatever happened to why can't we all just get along? And he's a black guy on top of everything else.
By the way, Time Magazine tweeted out a link to this story, and the picture that they used was a stock photo of a white Trump supporter.
Can someone say fake news? Fake news from Time Magazine, the magazine that reported, that broke the scoop.
Very fake news.
About President Trump removing the bust of Martin Luther King from the Oval Office. Remember that? Now Time Magazine has removed the bust of the black guy wearing the hat, the cap that said "Make America Great Again." John Solomon up next. I got more news, but not any more time. John Solomon next. I'm Howie Carr.
You know why it's not a good idea to buy designer watches from some random guy you meet on the street? Or buy diamond jewelry from a door-to-door salesman? Or buy sushi from a gas station? Because any buying decision that involves a significant investment or your gastrointestinal health, it's best to deal with competent professionals and not some random stranger. That's why we here at Matthews Brothers only partner with better lumber yards and window professionals. We simply won't put our reputation and your security in the hands of incompetent nincompoops. Besides, it gives the competent nincompoops a bad name. You see, after 164 years and millions of windows, we guard our reputation like Yogi Bear guards a picnic basket, like a fat kid guards a chocolate cake, like Carlos Danger guards his password, or like Mark Zuckerberg guards his privacy. You know, passionately. So look for our wicked awesome Maine-made products, but only at better lumber yards and window professionals, or on the web at MatthewsBrothers.com. Matthews Brothers with one T, America's oldest window manufacturer.
He's New England's talk radio king. He's Howie Carr.
The only French term I like is sans culotte, without trousers. I used to describe Ted Kennedy as sans culotte. Because after the O'Bar incident, when he was wandering around down on the beach with his 20th scotch tumbler of the day in his hand, stumbling around with he was just there, as the Michel Casson, Patches Date said, he was just there, without trousers. Or as we say in Paris, sans culotte.
We've seen nothing that we can work, that I can work with President Bush on, and I'm disappointed because I thought that there might be some interest because of what he said in the campaign.
President Bush, this is your brain. This is your brain on Botox, okay? That's the lesson of that one.
You've probably heard about all the great benefits of goat milk soap, but did you know some companies take shortcuts? At Old New England Soap, we make our organic goat's milk soap using 36% goat's milk. That's 17% more than most others. Our bars are larger, so they last longer, producing lots of lather packed with vitamins. And our soap is a natural moisturizer that smooths dry and damaged skin. Order online at oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. You've tried the rest. Now try the best. oldnesoap.com.
Water-based soaps on supermarket shelves use harsh chemical acids to break down dead skin cells. And that's just not good for you. At Old New England Soap, our soaps are made without chemical ingredients, contain no alcohol or petroleum products, and use 85% organic materials and carry the USDA's organic certification. Try some today. Go to oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. oldnesoap.com.
You've probably heard about all the great benefits of goat milk soap, but did you know some companies take shortcuts? At Old New England Soap, we make our organic goat's milk soap using 36% goat's milk. That's 17% more than most others. Our bars are larger, so they last longer, producing lots of lather packed with vitamins. And our soap is a natural moisturizer that smooths dry and damaged skin. Order online at oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. You've tried the rest. Now try the best. oldnesoap.com.
Water-based soaps on supermarket shelves use harsh chemical acids to break down dead skin cells. And that's just not good for you. At Old New England Soap, our soaps are made without chemical ingredients, contain no alcohol or petroleum products, and use 85% organic materials and carry the USDA's organic certification. Try some today. Go to oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. oldnesoap.com.
This is a public service announcement from the Howie Carr Radio Network. If you have an elderly neighbor, now is a good time to pay them a visit and see if they're okay. Dementia affects millions of elderly Americans, so you should learn to spot the signs. Like forgetting who the President of the United States is.
There's complete evidence. We've seen nothing that we can work, but I can work with President Bush on it. President Bush has come out against that, as you know. President Bush tries to charm you. And they are not with President Bush. Excuse me.
Or frequently losing your train of thought. Or lashing out at friends and colleagues.
What's that about?
Or repeatedly undermining your political party's attempt to win back the House of Representatives.
This is Armageddon.
This public service announcement was brought to you by Honest Howie's Botox Services. Because Honest Howie cares.
Celebrating 25 years on the air, this is the Howie Carr Show.
Joining us now on the line is John Solomon from thehill.com. He's been doing a lot of great work on this Russian collusion so-called story, and he had a great scoop a couple of days ago about one of the Russian oligarchs, Oleg Deripaska, and how he was brought in by the FBI to basically finance an operation to rescue an American named Levinson, who was a former FBI agent working for the CIA in Iran. He'd been basically kidnapped by the Iranians, and Deripaska spent $25 million of his own money, and he worked hand in glove with Bob Mueller's FBI to get this guy out, and it was eventually they were very close to getting him out, but it was nixed by the Hillary Clinton's refusal to sign a document. And he's got a lot of information on this and other parts of the Russian collusion story, and I wanted to talk to him. John, thanks for being with us here on the Howie Carr Show.
Oh, my pleasure, Howie. Great to join you.
Well, first of all, tell us. I want to before we talk about the whole operation with trying to get Levinson back. Tell us about the fact that Deripaska was in New York in the fall of 2016, and some. Tell us who he was visited by in his hotel room and what happened.
Absolutely. So he, as one of the rewards for helping the FBI in the earlier operation, they arranged for him to get a series of visas that the State Department had denied him. And so on one of those visas, he was visiting New York in September 2016. Remember, that's 2 months before Donald Trump's elected. And the FBI agents who used to work with him showed up unannounced at his apartment and knocked on his door, asked to come see him, and said, hey, we're working on something. We think that Donald Trump's campaign is colluding with Russia on hijacking the election, and they're doing it in the form of Paul Manafort, your former business partner. And Deripaska laughed. He thought they were joking. Like there's no way that Russia would use Manafort. He wasn't respected in Manafort, according to him. He didn't. Wasn't respected in Russia, and he didn't think there was any chance that Manafort was being used by the Russians. So he said, "Listen, you guys are serious." So I said, "Yeah, or there's no chance. There's no chance that Russia is using Paul Manafort. You're wrong about this. You're way off. Hey, I have every reason to want to jam him up. I had a bad relationship with him. It went sour. I'd love to tell you he is colluding so you can arrest him, but I'm telling you, it's not true." That is so significant for so many reasons. One is Deripaska had been trusted enough by the FBI to run an op for them. 2, trusted enough to get him special access to the United States. 3, he's a Russian with very close ties to Vladimir Putin. And 4, at the moment they have this conversation, they're standing before and getting ready to go to the FISA court to get permission to surveil the Trump campaign and their former advisors. And the question that arises from this is, did they inform the FISA court? Did they only tell them about the dossier, which we now know to be not good evidence or flawed evidence? Or did they tell them that Deripaska waved them off it? Hey, we've got this dossier, says one thing, but one of our most trusted Russian guys say it isn't true. All the evidence that I got in my reporting indicated they kept this from the FISA court. They did not tell the FISA court, we've got this dossier, but we also got one of our trusted Russian sources saying it's not true. That's a really significant new part of the narrative about the dossier and FISA abuses that has been missing until this last week.
And you talked to the Russian oligarch himself and at least one of the FBI agents, correct?
Yeah, so Mr. Deripaska sent me some statements to use in the story through his lawyer, and I talked extensively to his lawyer. So I had a lot of access to him and his information, and I did not report anything from the Russian oligarch without getting it verified from other sources. I talked to more than a dozen and a half sources, and they all had the same consistent story. Deripaska's story matches the FBI story on all of these aspects.
Yet this afternoon, the New York Times runs a story which was basically rehashed. They claim it's all this new stuff, but all they got is the name of the Operation Crossfire Hurricane, and there's no mention of your scoop about the meeting and how they were waved off by a guy who's very close. Why is that?
It's a great question. I've stopped opining why members of the media only cover certain aspects of the story and ignore other parts of it. At the end of the day, 20 years ago when I was a young reporter, getting in the New York Times or the Washington Post was the only way to get official attention in Washington. But today, because of the internet and with all the plethora of great radio shows like yours and social media, we can go around the New York Times or the Washington Post or any news organization, and millions of people have seen my story just through the different channels that we've been able to use television also. I don't obsess over it anymore. They have to answer for themselves why they've only covered one part of the story and the other part. There's a great example today, right? The Intelligence Committee came out and said, we agree that Russia meddled, but we also don't think there's any evidence of collusion. Try to find any leads anywhere today that says there's no evidence of collusion. They're only on the meddling part. And I think that tells you something about the news selection that's going on in the industry today. There's a lot of narrow thinking and not enough of both sides of a story being told clearly. But, we live in an era where you can get a story out regardless of whether the gatekeepers do or don't. And I'm very happy that, so many people have paid attention to this story and took it on for its significance.
Well, I'm just reading the New York Times thing. The facts about the investigation, had they surfaced, might have devastated the Trump campaign. One advisor appeared to have Russian intelligence contacts. Another was suspected of being a Russian agent himself. But as I think it's pretty conclusive now that neither of those statements is true, right? So yet the New York Times is treating it like this fantasy was reality, and that the FBI was bending over backwards to protect Trump, when in fact they had concocted this story. We don't know exactly who was involved in it, but it was likely Brennan and Clapper and Comey and Strzok and Page, right? I mean, there's no reality to this whole hoax, is there?
Yeah, there's a lot of evidence that political forces were used to hijack the intelligence community to do political opposition research during the campaign. That's really the narrative that has now been confirmed. A dossier funded by the Clinton campaign is then injected into the intelligence systems through the CIA, and the State Department gets to the FBI, and the FBI opens an unprecedented counterintelligence investigation against a political campaign in the middle of an election. That is irrefutable. What's also irrefutable, and one of the things is just because someone had a contact. I meet lots of people every day, and people grab my hand. I come off a set and say, hey, I'd like to meet you. I'm John, I'm Joe. They may be a Russian agent. They may not be a Russian agent. What the accusers have said, they've turned meetings into collusion when there's not been the proof of collusion. And that's the failure of journalism. Yes, maybe certain people wittingly or unwittingly met with Russians, but is there any evidence that Donald Trump's campaign was asking the Russians to help them do things that would hijack the campaign? And that has been missing from the narrative for the very moment. James Comey repeatedly told people there's no evidence of collusion. Dianne Feinstein has come out and said it many times, and yet many news organizations continue to try to create the aura that there was collusion because a few people met at a bar one time. There's a big difference having a drink with someone and colluding to hijack the election. The latter has not been proven.
Well, especially
there are a few instances where people made contacts. It happens all the time.
Especially when the person who's buying the drinks in one case appears to be on the payroll of the FBI or the CIA, right?
Yeah, there's a real concern about that. Yep, setting up the thing that you want to prove. And we still need to know more about those episodes. But let's remember another thing: who is the person that reported George Papadopoulos that starts this whole thing? And an Australian ambassador that was a $25 million donor to the Clinton Foundation. all throughout this, the people that were driving this had connections to the Clintons, to the political process, to politics, and not the normal, nonpartisan intelligence community that normal drives things. I think it is absolutely true. My reporting and other people's true. The Russians tried to meddle in the election. There has not been the proof of the storyline that has dominated so many news organizations that Russia colluded with Donald Trump. And in fact, in many cases, there's strong evidence that it's just not true. And yet we get that lost. When we can't prove collusion now, reporters just highlight one meeting and say, well, there must be collusion because they had drinks. There's a big difference in meeting someone, gripping their hand, having a 5-minute meeting, having a drink, and colluding and asking a foreign intelligence agency to corrupt our election.
But as you know now, John Solomon of thehill.com, the standard is it hasn't been disproven. So, in other words, then the old Anglo-American standard of innocent until proven guilty is now guilty until proven innocent. If you're Donald Trump,
you're so right, and in many other places. Listen, every day you can go and find stories where the presumption of guilt has overtaken the assumption of innocence without facts to justify it. I was in a green room last night with one of the great journalists of all time, someone who has a 50-year record in journalism, and he came up and we were talking for a little bit, and he said something very profound. He's very concerned that today's journalists all crave their chance to have a Watergate, and it doesn't matter whether there's Watergate facts or not. They just want to say they created a Watergate. And I think there's a lot of thought in what he said that we ought to pause and think about, which is, have we hyperventilated and tried to create a Watergate where the circumstances are something far less? And is it just because someone wants the thrill of a great investigative story, regardless of whether the facts merit that? And I think that's one of the lessons that if my profession takes a step back, we're going to find out that we hyperventilated and we got ahead of the facts and we became assumptive and we drove lots of clicks and lots of views on a story that may not have turned out to be what we said it was.
Well, how about today? The Senate Intelligence Committee releases the transcript of Donald Trump Jr.'s interview, and so they're
Senate Judiciary.
They're hyperventilating about that. But yet, on some networks, they're not pointing out that the day before this meeting, the Russian lawyer met with Glenn Simpson of Fusion GPS, and the day after. So she was briefed before, and then she was debriefed by Glenn Simpson, who's on Hillary Clinton's payroll, and also on Russian oligarchs' payrolls before and after the meeting. Why is that, John?
Here's another thing. When you read those transcripts, the original stories, the Trump campaign or Trump White House gate turns out to be true. It was a passerby meeting. No one took notes. No one followed up. That's not in doubt. And yes, there was this Glenn Simpson before and after, just like we may have a similar situation where the FBI had someone meeting with the guys that they didn't want to investigate. There's a real question of entrapment that has arisen in some of these stories, and we still are missing some of the facts, so we shouldn't assume it. But there are at least legitimate questions of entrapment, which is, did somebody try to create the idea there was collusion between Trump and Russia so that they could then investigate it and make it become self-fulfilling? And I think that's one of the storylines that people like Devin Nunes, and I believe Richard Burr and many others are going to help us to develop in the next few months. I think we can, in August of this year, we'll be able to look back at the headlines from November, December, January, February of 2016 and 2017, and I think a lot of those headlines will have been disproven.
But the New York Times and the Washington Post will still have their foolish Pulitzer Prizes for investigating the collusion that didn't exist.
Yeah, I never got into journalism to win awards, and I've been lucky to win a few.
I know. Nor did I.
We just want to be in for the facts. It's about the truth. That's what it should be about, not about winning awards.
When is the next
writing journalism?
When's the next IG report? I just read that Horowitz just sent it off for the final review. How soon is it going to be released?
I think we'll see it. And all the reporting I've done indicates we'll see it in the next 2 weeks, and it'll be a very extensive look at James Comey's leadership of the FBI and some new information about McCabe and Stroke and Page. And I think, remember, it was the FBI that drove both the Hillary Clinton email investigation, which Hillary Clinton feels she was wronged by, and the Donald Trump collusion investigation, which Donald Trump clearly feels he was wronged by. I think both campaigns are going to have a lot of vindication in this report. What I'm hearing is it's very tough on Comey and his leadership decisions on McCabe, and we're going to look at a bureau that often is held in great esteem and may have had a lot of flaws at the moment, that these two political hot potatoes came across their desk.
John Solomon, always a pleasure, and you're doing a great job. We appreciate you being with us.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks. I'm Howie Carr.
Howie Carr will return after this brief commercial break.
Hey, I'm here with Ronnie from Get the Tea. It's spring. Spring has sprung. Ronnie, I know why you have to get the tea now, but you tell the people why.
Well, here's the deal. There is so much colon cancer going around, and if you just keep the intruders out and keep yourself cleansed, which the tea does, you could be living a better life.
What's your address, Ronnie? Your web address?
GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com.
GetTheTea.com. My listeners love GetTheTea.com, Ronnie. They're always looking for the new deal, the new special. What is the new special for May?
For your listeners, they're going to get free shipping, and they're going to get $6 off of their teas. Just punch in promo code Howie.
Tell them one more time. What's the special, and where do they go to get it, Ronnie?
Go to GetTheTea.com. This is the tea that makes you go. Go to GetTheTea.com. Just punch in promo code Howie.
GetTheTea.com. Thank you, Ronnie.
The United States will withdraw from the Paris Climate Accord.
We are all going to die.
And we all joke about him destroying the world, but this could be it.
That means record heat, more drought in some places. We could see the seas continue to rise.
Their kids will have worse asthma,
torrential rains and floods in other places. So we could see flooding in major cities.
They will have a harder time having economic growth.
Sea level rising, drowning coastal areas. Deadlier heat waves would be more abundant with
droughts and floods.
Coal sludge back into rivers and lakes.
We'd see droughts, wildfires.
How tens of thousands of people die annually.
Mass extinction in the natural world.
This was a fault on the part of Donald Trump against humanity.
Sea level rise is happening. That's a scientific fact.
And this man is wrecking the planet.
Low-lying countries such as the Marshall Islands would disappear entirely. The world will be a mess.
So Donald Trump may have doomed the planet.
Poor water quality is a major health issue, and it's only getting worse. Municipalities can't keep up, standards have dropped, and pollutants are increasing. Where does it all end? It ends by keeping the pollutants outside of your home with HydroCare's advanced systems available at Wave Home Solutions. No less than the best purification materials and processes have been developed by HydroCare to provide you with healthy, clean water for drinking, cooking, and showering. HydroCare far surpasses the competition in removing chlorine, odors, iron, lead, chemicals, limescale, and much more. Don't settle for less when it comes to your water. We'll take care of the toughest water problems for you, whether it's from a city or well source. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, call 888-997-WAVE. That's 888-997-WAVE. Or go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
If you have hard water, the limescale not only leaves white spots, it clogs pipes and breaks down appliances, costing you hundreds of dollars in energy and wear. Eliminate limescale and other water issues like brown staining and bad odors with HydroCare water products, available from Wave Home Solutions. Wave's affordable water systems don't use salts or chemicals. You'll love the way your water tastes, smells, and looks. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
This is Mark in Williston, Vermont.
This is Marie in Somerville, Massachusetts.
This is Mike from South Attleboro, Mass. And this is the Howie Carr Show.
Today's poll question is brought to you by Simply Safe. Simply Safe obsesses over details like no other home security company. They have a camera you can control from your phone, and they put a privacy shutter on it. so you could protect your home and your privacy. Learn more today at simplysafehowie.com. That's simplysafehowie.com. Steve, what's the poll question? What are the results thus far?
Should NATO kick out Turkey?
Yes.
87% say yes.
All right. So I'm reading this New York Times story again. It's got to be about, I don't know, it's thousands of words. It's like 10, 15,000 words. 1, 2, 3. The fourth to the last paragraph of all these words. A year and a half later, no public evidence has surfaced connecting Mr. Trump's advisors to the hacking or linking Mr. Trump himself to the Russian government's disruptive efforts. Don't you think that could have been a little higher up than the 100th or 150th paragraph in the story?
Does it contain the words, "The investigation continues"?
I haven't had time to read the whole story. I'll read it on the 4-hour flight to Dallas, the 3-hour flight to Dallas tomorrow. But I'll let you know. But I'm sure it's in here somewhere. It's the last sentence though is from Glenn Simpson. There was a concern that the FBI was being manipulated for political ends by the Trump people. Wow. With friends like the FBI, who needs enemies? They've bent over so backwards to help Donald Trump. Just like J. Edgar Hoover helped communists in the FBI when he was running the FBI. 844-500-4242-781 says, our only hope of getting to the bottom of any of this crap is to win in November. The deep state is slow walking big time. I know. It's been a long time since I gave money to any political candidate, but I gave it in the mailroom manager's name, but I give $150 to Devin Nunes just because I'm just so impressed with the work he's doing. I don't think he's going to lose in California, but he's taken so much crap and grief, and he's so courageous to keep going forward. I mean, it'd be so easy to just go the Susan Collins route. You know what I mean? Just go with the flow. Get invited to the nice cocktail parties, but he's not doing that. And if you're on a Devin Nunes mailing list, think about giving him some dough because he deserves it even more than people like DeSantis and Jordan and the other stalwarts. Grassley is another one. Jerry, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Jerry.
Yeah, Howie, how you doing, buddy?
Good.
Great. I just heard you talking about old Brandon and Clapper.
Yes.
Well, I watched them on TV the other night. They were in a little they had a little gathering talking about everything.
Yeah.
What really got me was when Brandon and Clapper both sat right there and said they were making interviews with these college students. Now, that's pretty good. You get two assholes together.
I agree with what you said, Jerry, but did you have to use that word? I'm Howie Carr.
Ready to celebrate summer with a new car or truck? At Bank Chevrolet Buick GMC, we make it as easy as a day at the beach. With over 2,000 vehicles in stock and the lowest, most transparent pricing, you can see why Banks is New England's highest volume GM dealer. Enjoy the ease of summer with a friendly, no-pressure staff. With our full-service internet department, you can take care of the details before you even walk through the door. Right now, lease a 2018 GMC Sierra all-wheel drive double cab elevation edition for only $309 per month for 36 months. Current GM lessees take advantage of this great offer with up to $12,000 off or zero cash down. See dealer for details. Come see the difference at New England's highest volume GM dealer, Bank Chevrolet Buick GMC, just minutes away in Concord, New Hampshire. Check out all of this month's specials online at banksautos.com. GMC, we are professional grade. Real prices, huge inventory, always in stock.
Hi, folks. Let's wind the clocks back 60 years. Food was different. Food provided health and nutrition, and using supplements was minimal. Unfortunately, now we have chemicals, GMOs, herbicides, and pesticides that can be quite lethal in the name of our food supply. And, of course, the ever-loving dollar. Supplementing our diets can be very important to stay healthy. Cleansing from daily intruders to the body might be critical. Live strong and take charge. Log on to getthetea.com. Our herbal tea is a great way to cleanse from intruders. Our supplements is a great way to maintain and improve your health. When your health is not up to par, go to getthetea.com. No GMOs, no fillers, and organic. And very helpful in keeping you at the top of your game. Life is too short to feel, you know what I mean. Stay in the game, at the top of your game with getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. Again, getthetea.com.
And now it's time for Presidential Facts with Steve Robinson.
William Henry Harrison commissioned bottles of hard cider in the shape of log cabins as part of his presidential campaign. When James K. Polk was 17, he had surgery to remove gallstones without any anesthesia or antiseptic. Zachary Taylor died suddenly, and while the exact cause of his death is still disputed, some historians think it originated from eating cherries in iced milk. President Franklin Pierce, a Bowdoin guy, was arrested for running over an old woman with his horse. The charges were later dropped. Andrew Johnson was completely hammered at his vice presidential inauguration in 1865. Ulysses S. Grant once got a speeding ticket on his horse. He was fined $20. Rutherford B. Hayes signed the act that allowed women to plead cases before the Supreme Court, making it legal for women to practice in the court system. And they say Rutherford never did anything.
You're listening to the Howie Carr Show.
I'm getting older and noticing that my body just doesn't work as well as it used to. So I like to keep fit as possible by hitting the gym a few times a week. Recently, I started having a nagging bicep pain, and it got so bad I couldn't even lift the weights. When I was complaining about it to a friend, he told me about Angioprim. He said chelation helps remove toxins, heavy metals, and cholesterol in veins and arteries that may cause blockages. You know, after just 1 week of taking Angioprim, the pain was gone, and now I'm back in the gym full strength. Scientific research proves the active ingredient in Angioprim has superior oral chelation action that helps promote cardiovascular health. So to learn more, go to angioprim.com. That's ANGIOPRIM.com. Or talk to a trained consultant. Call Angioprim toll free at 877-882-7221. You'll feel better with more energy. Call 877-882-7221 or go to the website angioprim.com.
Hey, it's Grace. Can we talk about something serious for a minute? Your age. Getting old has its perks. But remember, being a few years younger, you know, your hair was thicker, you didn't have so many wrinkles, that extra weight wasn't haunting you, and you just felt better. Well, we can't turn back the clocks and go back 10 or 15 years, but you can start feeling and looking 10 or 15 years younger with Nature's Youth RSF. It's a doctor-formulated daily supplement that helps your body maintain its peak performance and fight the aging process. Imagine sleeping better, looking better, and feeling better. See how Nature's Youth RSF has helped thousands of people just like you at nature'syouth.com. nature'syouth.com. Imagine how it will feel when your family and friends are asking you what you did to look so good. Your secret will be Nature's Youth RSF. It's time to start looking better and feeling better. Learn more and order your Nature's Youth RSF at nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com.
In the criminal justice system, the people are represented by two separate yet equally important groups: the police who investigate crime and the district attorneys who prosecute the offenders. These are their stories.
In your pre-law enforcement career as a drug dealer, Trooper, what was your profit margin on that 100-plus pounds of standard grade weed that you personally sold?
I was making at least $200 a pound.
But weren't you making a lot more selling the Primo stuff, high bud, the so-called hydroponic cannabis?
A lot more, $600 or $700.
As a drug dealer, you yourself were doing a lot of drugs, right? In addition to smoking marijuana, how often?
Basically every day I use Xanax, Wellbutrin, possibly Vicodin. The Xanax I would take for sleep, Wellbutrin I would take for depression.
What about when the G-men ask you about the dates of certain crimes that you committed?
See, I'm afraid to actually state dates because I don't want to get perjurized for something I don't recall correctly.
You're listening to the Howie Carr Show. You can call him Fat Boy, just don't call him late for dinner. He's Howie Carr.
We will bring over your entire family from the third world Muslim hellhole that they live in so that they can have an all-expenses-paid, taxpayer-funded with open bar weekend at a nice hotel in Boston, get a nice sightseeing tour, maybe take them to Fenway Park for a game so they can see their savage Muslim terrorist kinsman sentenced to death. But the President of the United States of America can't be allowed to speak before Parliament because he's such a terrible barbarian, as opposed to the dictator of Red China. And I'm going to call it Red China. Since the Dems are down on Russia, we might as well go after all the communist dictatorships that are left, right? Russia isn't even a communist dictatorship, it's just authoritarian now, but let's call it Red China.
Does your basement or crawl space have a damp, musty smell? Well, watch out! That's a sign of too much moisture and not enough ventilation. And that can mean increased mold growth and the buildup of harmful toxins and gases. Don't bother with a dehumidifier. It just circulates the same unhealthy air. Now there's a better way to remove these dangers and odors. It's with the computerized Wave Moisture Control Unit that reduces moisture and expels pollutants.
We replaced our old dehumidifier with the Wave unit, and in only 3 weeks, our basement is dry and the musty smell is gone.
Wave units require no maintenance, no buckets of water or filters, and costs only pennies a day to run. Breathe better, live healthier with an affordable, no-maintenance Wave unit. Call 888-717-WAVE, 888-717-WAVE, or visit dryhealthyhome.com. Dryhealthyhome.com.
Ride the wave. Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
Poor water quality is a major health issue, and it's only getting worse. Municipalities can't keep up, standards have dropped, and pollutants are increasing. Where does it all end? It ends by keeping the pollutants outside of your home with HydroCare's advanced systems available at Wave Home Solutions. No less than the best purification materials and processes have been developed by HydroCare to provide you with healthy, clean water for drinking, cooking, and showering. HydroCare far surpasses the competition in removing chlorine, odors, iron, lead, chemicals, limescale, and much more. Don't settle for less when it comes to your water. We'll take care of the toughest water problems for you, whether it's from a city or well source.
Better strap yourself in. It's time for the Howie Carr Show.
The facts of what happened to Katie Steinle only make sense on one level, which is but for. But for that guy being in this country when he shouldn't have been, she would have never died. But the facts of it, he was not, the idea of what he was painted as, that there's a monster in our midst and there's so many just like him, the facts don't line up on it. And it's always been a gross abuse of the situation.
Live from the Matthews Brothers Studios.
Your agency will be separating children from their parents. And I would
what we'll be doing is prosecuting parents who've broken the law, just as we do every day in the United States of America.
I can appreciate that. But if that parent has a 4-year-old child, what do you plan on doing with that child?
The child under law goes to HHS for care and custody.
They will be separated from their parent.
Just like we do in the United States every day.
Who's your captain? Howie Carr.
Do you see yourself under any circumstance talking to Hamas?
As long as they seek our destruction, what am I going to talk about? I mean, if somebody said, could you talk to Al-Qaeda? Would you have discussions with bin Laden? About what?
Unchained and unstoppable.
They want people who hate Donald Trump, that want him to be removed as president, that will do anything to, set him up, use false information, whatever. That's the kind of people they prefer. But if you don't absolutely hate Donald Trump and want him removed, Rosenstein doesn't really care about using you for a source.
Who do you love? Howie Carr.
I'm not just talking about inner city Newark. I've had the privilege now of traveling to Midwestern communities, traveling to the rural South. traveling out west. I've read books like Hillbilly Elegy and everything I can to try to understand other folks.
I don't think he realizes how insulting he's being.
Rump swabs, hacks, and moonbats beware. It's Howie Carr.
Whenever I hear anybody say folks, I get very suspicious. I'm not saying it's 100% chance that you're in the presence of somebody who's trying to put one over on you. Maybe only a 95% chance. By the way, I counted up the number of paragraphs in the New York Times blockbuster story today about the FBI investigation. It was in the 69th paragraph of the story. The 69th paragraph. A year and a half later, no public evidence has surfaced connecting Mr. Trump's advisors to the hacking or linking Mr. Trump himself to the Russian government's disruptive efforts. Okay, 69th paragraph. But then they're talking about an article that ran on October 31st. But the articles of 2016, but the article's tone and headline, investigating Donald Trump, FBI sees no clear link to Russia, gave an air of finality to an investigation that was just beginning. But now the investigation is a year and a half old and no evidence has arisen. So what exactly was the problem with the headline? Seems like the headline was right, and all the subsequent hundreds of headlines have been fatuous nonsense at best.
Hey, remember March 4th, 2017, when Trump tweeted out terrible, just found out that Obama had my wires tapped in Trump Tower just before the victory. Nothing found. This is McCarthyism.
Yes. Yeah, that was true. It was true.
Yeah, that tweet aged pretty well.
Yeah. Kind of like the tweet about Eric Schneiderman aged pretty well too, didn't it? That was even older. That was like fine wine. That was like something you find in a castle in France. It's like 100 years old. And now Giuliani has said he's been told by Mueller's team that they've decided the special prosecutor Mueller has decided he can't indict a sitting president. I mean, again, there's no crime here to begin with, but he's decided that under any circumstances he can't indict someone. But the investigation continues. The investigation continues, and don't you ever forget it. Two more stories before we go back to the crooked judge, or not the crooked judge, the nutty judge in Essex County. Shovel-wielding woman shot by Vegas police. I just wanted to read this so I could say, never bring a shovel to a gunfight. NAACP president and SC says he was racially profiled. Body cam video shows otherwise. Timminsville NAACP president, the Reverend Gerard Moultrie, posted on Facebook last month that he was racially profiled when a Timminsville police officer pulled him over for a traffic violation near his home on Harkless Court in Timminsville. Moultrie's post said, "Tonight I was racially profiled by Timminsville officer because I was driving a Mercedes-Benz and going home in a nice neighborhood." He said the officer asked him if there were any drugs inside his car. He said that the officer told him, "I'm doing you a favor tonight, not taking you to jail or writing you a ticket." So the community activist named Timothy Waters saw that, and he was angry. He was outraged. So he went to the Timminsville Police Department and demanded to take a look at the officer's dash and body cam video. When the activist saw the video, he became even more upset. But not at the police officer, but at the Reverend Moultrie. Once I got a copy of that body cam, it's as if he made the whole story up. What a shock! Huh? And I felt it set us back like 100 years, because think about all the racial profiling cases that are true. Timminsville Police Chief Billy Brown said Moultrie contacted him the morning after the traffic stop with claims that Moultrie had been racially profiled and mistreated by the officer. Brown said he investigated, and he also reviewed the body cam video and determined there was nothing to Moultrie's claims. When I saw the video, I was shocked that someone who was supposed to be a community leader, a pastor and head of the NAACP, would just come out and tell a blatant lie. Stop me if you've heard this one before. One more. I'm not going to be here for Police Blotter Facts Friday. 4 people have been injured, including one critically, after they were attacked by a swarm of bees in Palm Desert on Tuesday morning. I guess that's California, Riverside County. 4 people were swarmed by bees. One victim made it inside his house, and 2 others managed to safely reach the medic unit, whatever that is. Firefighters located a 4th victim in an outdoor pool. So obviously he just dove into the pool and tried to keep his head underwater until the bees got tired of waiting for him to surface. Yikes. Woman, a lot of police news here. Woman climbs tree on Saugus Trail when coyotes close in. A woman was forced to climb a tree at Breakheart Reservation in Saugus as coyotes started closing in on her and her dog, she told the 911 dispatcher. The woman was hiking with her Labrador named Abby on the Ridge Trail when she encountered the coyotes and retreated to the safety of a nearby tree. While speaking with the dispatcher, the woman said at least one coyote was about 400 feet away.
I love how you're trying to burn through all of Grace's good police blotter facts just because you're not going to be here.
She didn't even know about the bees. You're doing her a real
solid.
400 feet away and staring at her. 400 feet away, that's a football field and another 30 yards. What, Grace?
It's so obvious. You're just trying to run through them all. I'm not going to be here, so let me read all the police blotters on Wednesday before Grace can do them on Friday.
Grace is going to have like 3 stories.
Well, she already read the one I'd already pulled about the guy, the Dixon, Illinois school safety officer shooting the guy who came to school with a gun. Ronald Reagan's hometown.
You're like sabotaging your own show because you're not going to be here.
Well, okay. I'm going to... those were good. Those were too good to wait.
Yes, they were. They were too good.
Sometimes the good ones get overlooked. I wanted to make sure that didn't happen. All right. Judge spares heroin dealer from jail. We talked a little bit about this in the first hour. This was broken by the Salem Evening News this morning, and we tweeted it out. Turtle Boy Sports picked it up. A Peabody man found with more than half an ounce of heroin hidden in a secret compartment of his Volvo won't have to serve any time in prison after pleading guilty to charges of drug possession and intent to distribute. That's because a Salem Superior Court judge reasoned yesterday Manuel Soto Vitani, a Dominican national, was just trying to support his family and was not an addict himself. This is Judge Timothy Touchy-Feely, the guy who let John Williams go to kill the Corporal Cole up in Maine after he reduced his bail from $50,000 to $5,000. This was basically a money crime, Judge Touchy-Feely concluded. He imposed 2 years probation on Soto Vitani. By the way, Soto Vitani, in addition to being a Dominican national, his brother is also a heroin dealer. And his lawyer said that he's from the Dominican Republic, but had legal permanent resident status. That's great. I guess he's just selling the heroin that Americans can't be bothered selling. He is still in jeopardy of deportation, something he argued would be catastrophic. And they produced a letter from his girlfriend, who's the mother of his 2 children. If they're so in love, why didn't they get married? Because the Department of Transitional Assistance would have been able to come after him for child support? You think that could have had something to do with the fact that they weren't married? Kind of like the illegal alien from the Dominican Republic that got married a couple of weeks ago in the U.S. District Courtroom on Northern Avenue. He had a kid by his girlfriend. He didn't get married until he was in danger of being deported. We'll talk more about this. 844-500-4242. I'm Howie Carr.
He's New England's talk radio king. He's Howie Carr.
Falling into bed takes on a whole new meaning when you sleep on any Casper mattress. Try yours for 100 nights in your own home. Go to Casper.com and use code Howie to save $50 on the purchase of select mattresses. Terms and conditions apply. See site for details.
Hey, I'm here with Ronnie from Get the Tea.
It's spring. Spring has sprung. Ronnie, I know why you have to get the tea now, but you tell the people why.
Well, here's the deal. There is so much colon cancer going around, and if you just keep the intruders out and keep yourself cleansed, which the tea does, you could be living a better life.
What's your address, Ronnie? Your web address?
GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com.
GetTheTea.com. My listeners love GetTheTea.com, Ronnie. They're always looking for the new deal, the new special. What is the new special for May?
For your listeners, they're going to get free shipping, and they're going to get $6 off of their teas. Just punch in promo code Howie.
Tell them one more time. What's the special, and where do they go to get it, Ronnie?
Go to GetTheTea.com. This is the tea that makes you go. Go to GetTheTea.com. Just punch in promo code Howie.
GetTheTea.com. Thank you, Ronnie.
That plan is a campaign to make America white again.
And is literally a love letter to white supremacists.
Effort to keep America white again.
When someone uses the phrase chained migration, it is intentional, literally trying to demonize families and make it a racist slur. It is not right.
African Americans believe that they migrated to America in chains. And when you speak about chain migration, it hurts them personally.
The great divider who injects hatred between groups in America.
To continue to push extremist views on immigration.
Really a shameful practice of holding 800,000 children hostage.
We continue to hold each of those programs hostage.
And says whether you should hold these kids hostage.
When they took the Dreamers hostage, you knew you were going to have to pay a ransom.
She should have been in the same way, as opposed to just doing her job. Well, we know what happened in Europe when people just did their job.
You've probably heard about all the great benefits of goat milk soap. But did you know some companies take shortcuts? At Old New England Soap, we make our organic goat's milk soap using 36% goat's milk. That's 17% more than most others. Our bars are larger, so they last longer, producing lots of lather packed with vitamins. And our soap is a natural moisturizer that smooths dry and damaged skin. Order online at oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. You've tried the rest. Now try the best. oldnesoap.com.
Water-based soaps on supermarket shelves use harsh chemical acids to break down dead skin cells. And that's just not good for you. At Old New England Soap, our soaps are made without chemical ingredients, contain no alcohol or petroleum products, and use 85% organic materials and carry the USDA's organic certification. Try some today. Go to oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. oldnesoap.com.
You've probably heard about all the great benefits of goat milk soap. But did you know some companies take shortcuts? At Old New England Soap, we make our organic goat's milk soap using 36% goat's milk. That's 17% more than most others. Our bars are larger, so they last longer, producing lots of lather packed with vitamins. And our soap is a natural moisturizer that smooths dry and damaged skin. Order online at oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. You've tried the rest. Now try the best. oldnesoap.com.
Water-based soaps on supermarket shelves use harsh chemical acids to break down dead skin cells. And that's just not good for you. At Old New England Soap, our soaps are made without chemical ingredients, contain no alcohol or petroleum products, and use 85% organic materials and carry the USDA's organic certification. Try some today. Go to oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. oldnesoap.com.
Hi, this is Val from Longmeadow, Mass.
Hi, this is Tony and Pietra from Haverhill, Massachusetts.
This is Myrnie in Fairfax County, Virginia, and this is the Howie Carr Show.
Simply Safe is the sponsor of today's poll. Simply Safe obsesses over details like no other home security company. They have a camera you can control from your phone, and they put a privacy shutter on it so they can protect your home and your privacy. Learn more today at simplysafehowie.com. That's simplysafehowie.com. Steve, what's the poll question? What are the results thus far?
Should NATO kick out Turkey?
Yes.
87% say yeah, they gotta go.
All right. So
it looks like this defense lawyer for this alien Dominican drug dealer was shopping around for a judge for 3 years. They kept postponing the thing until they could get it before Feely, because they know Feely was going to broom the case, like he brooms every other damn case that goes before him, including guys who go on to kill police officers in the state of Maine. So this is what Feely said, Touchy-Feely, the judge, as he let the Dominican drug dealer, heroin dealer, go. This was not a drug addict who was dealing to fund his own addiction. How the hell does he know, by the way? But rather a person who made some terrible judgments and decisions. Apparently not. He was selling heroin. They found him with 40 bags of heroin, and he's not going to do any time. So what was the terrible decision that he made? But made them for what he thought was in the best interest of his family, who he never bothered to marry the mother of his children. That's how interested he was in the family. And his brother, that was a heroin dealer, who was sentenced in an unrelated heroin case to serve 18 months to a 2.5-year sentence by a Gloucester District Court judge following his own arrest on heroin distribution charges. The amount of heroin, 40 small bags of heroin, was initially reported as more than 1 ounce. As a result, the district court judge set bail at $100,000. The amount was later reduced to $35,000 by a superior court judge, and it was posted 10 days after Soto Vitani's arrest. This poor Dominican national, just trying to make an honest living for himself and his 2 illegitimate children and his girlfriend, just happened to have $35,000 cash. Even if he only had to post 10% of it, it's $3,500. How many illegal aliens who aren't drug dealers have $3,500 cash? And by the way, would you provide him with bail? If I wouldn't. If I was a bondsman, I wouldn't. The case was pending for nearly 3 years as the defense attorney filed and argued a series of motions to dismiss charges and suppress evidence, none of which were successful. But he did succeed in getting the case before Touchy-Feely. And that was all he needed to be successful, right? I mean, how bad is this? We have to start electing judges, and I know it's not going to happen, because if we elected judges, then the bust-out lawyers like Feely who become judges wouldn't be giving money to Governor Baker and Lieutenant Governor Polito and all the other people over the years who they thought were going to be governor, whether it was Coakley or Riley or Deval Patrick or even Muffy Healy going way back. So the system is not going to be changed, but I mean, there should be some way to recall these people. In California, with the Supreme Court justices in California, I believe they're appointed by the governor, but then after a certain amount of time, 4 or 6 years, the voters get to decide whether they want to affirm them to continue on the bench. There was a judge back in the 70s. I think her name was Bird, a female judge named Bird, and she was like Touchy-Feely, and she was voted off the bench. I don't understand what does it have to do with the fact that he's a user or not? I thought, when I was a little kid, my aunt Doris, she's the one who told me if I ever wanted a Pall Mall, I could have one of hers because, they might be slipping me some marijuana cigarettes, those nasty drug dealers down at the playground. But she always told me, the drug dealers don't use the drugs themselves. I thought that's the way, that's what I was told when I was 8 years old. That's how they operated. Now I'm told that this is a good thing, that this is a sign of the man's character, this alien from the Dominican Republic, his character, that he doesn't use the heroin. He only sells it to the Americans, like his brother sells it to the Americanos, the gringos. It's only for us, And this is supposed to make him okay. How does the judge? This happens like 3 weeks after a guy whose bail he reduced. It was originally $50,000. Another judge cut it to $10,000, and he cut it to $5,000. This guy, John Williams, guy with tattoos, got drugs in the car, got unregistered guns in the car, got ammo in the car, runs the car into a ditch on 495. He's stoned out of his mind, and touchy-feely lets him go with $5,000 bond, and he goes up to Maine and kills somebody. Now, if I were the judge, I would be throwing the book at everybody who came before me for the rest of my career on the bench until I turned 70 and they threw me off. This guy just turns around and cuts a heroin dealer loose. I mean, you could say, how many people is a heroin dealer responsible for killing? It's just astonishing. And this guy used to be a prosecutor. Did he learn anything? Does he think that he's going to be, what is he going to be, the toast of Santo Domingo for cutting this guy free? Is he going to have a day in Lynn or Lawrence? Yeah, 5978. What would he do for trafficking in his home country? Yeah, I think they probably would treat him a lot more severely than they treat him here in the United States too. 844-500-4242. I'm Howie Carr.
Howie Carr here with Dr. Houghton from Perfect Smiles. He's here to tell us about a new non-surgical procedure that can change the look of your face.
That's right, Howie. When people want that wow smile, it's often more than just teeth. So we address the shape of the bone that holds the teeth in place.
My listeners know Perfect Smiles for dental veneers, which make your teeth look great, but the facial structure around them can still be lacking. This new procedure can help with that, right?
Yes, like a building, you have to have a good foundation. So this allows us not only to have a better lineup of the teeth, but it makes you look better too.
So let me understand this again. You can take an underdeveloped face, like a small chin or a flat face, and you can help that person develop a fuller, more natural-looking face.
Yes, and all non-surgical, because we use these appliances that stimulate the growth that develops you to your full DNA potential. In other words, how you were born to look.
Not only can it change the look of your face for the better, it can also help with TMJ pain and sleep apnea.
And headaches, too.
Find out more at perfectsmiles.com. That's perfectsmiles.com, or call 844-A-PERFECT-SMILE.
This is a public service announcement from the Howie Carr Radio Network. If you have an elderly neighbor, now is a good time to pay them a visit and see if they're okay. Dementia affects millions of elderly Americans, so you should learn to spot the signs. Like forgetting who the President of the United States is.
There's complete evidence, we've seen nothing that we can work, but I can work with President Bush on it.
President Bush has come out against that, as you know.
President Bush tries to charm you.
And they are not with President Bush. Excuse me.
Or frequently losing your train of thought. Or lashing out at friends and colleagues.
What's that about?
Or repeatedly undermining your political party's attempt to win back the House of Representatives.
This is Armageddon.
This public service announcement was brought to you by Honest Howie's Botox Services. Because Honest Howie cares.
Hi, folks. Let's wind the clocks back 60 years. Food was different. Food provided health and nutrition, and using supplements was minimal. Unfortunately, now we have chemicals, GMOs, herbicides, and pesticides that can be quite lethal in the name of our food supply and, of course, the ever-loving dollar. Supplementing our diets can be very important to stay healthy. Cleansing from daily intruders to the body might be critical. Live strong and take charge. Log on to getthetea.com. Our herbal tea is a great way to cleanse from intruders. Our supplements is a great way to maintain and improve your health. When your health is not up to par, go to getthetea.com. No GMOs, no fillers, and organic. And very helpful in keeping you at the top of your game. Life is too short to feel, you know what I mean. Stay in the game, at the top of your game with getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. Again, getthetea.com.
Poor water quality is a major health issue, and it's only getting worse. Municipalities can't keep up, standards have dropped, and pollutants are increasing. Where does it all end? It ends by keeping the pollutants outside of your home with HydroCare's advanced systems available at Wave Home Solutions. No less than the best purification materials and processes have been developed by HydroCare to provide you with healthy, clean water for drinking, cooking, and showering. HydroCare far surpasses the competition in removing chlorine, odors, iron, lead, chemicals, limescale, and much more. Don't settle for less when it comes to your water. We'll take care of the toughest water problems for you, whether it's from a city or well source. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, call 888-997-WAVE. That's 888-997-WAVE. Or go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
And now it's time for Presidential Facts with Steve Robinson.
Although Thomas Jefferson and John Adams are recognized as founding fathers, neither of them attended the Constitutional Convention, and neither of them actually signed the document. George Washington and John Madison were the only presidents who signed the United States Constitution. John Adams and Thomas Jefferson once went to see William Shakespeare's home in 1786. They then ripped off a piece of Shakespeare's chair with a knife to take home as a memento. Did you know that Thomas Jefferson invented the swivel chair? James Madison was a little guy. He weighed under 100 pounds and was only 5'4". Little James. John Quincy Adams and Herbert Hoover both had pet alligators. Andrew Jackson once taught his parrot how to curse. It was so bad the parrot had to be removed from Jackson's funeral for swearing too much. Martin Van Buren was the first United States president to be born a citizen of the United States, but his first language was Dutch because he grew up in the Dutch part of New York called Kinderhook.
Celebrating 25 years on the air, this is the Howie Carr Show.
Joining us now in studio is Bill Papageorge from the Carr Guys, and he's the guy to go to if you don't want to deal with car dealers. And if you just call Bill Papageorge and tell him what you want and how much you can pay, the make, model, et cetera, even the color, he will get you, and how much you have, what your budget is, he can get you the car that you request, and you don't have to go through the dealer. I just saw some pro football player, I can't remember who it was. He was just tweeting out, and he said, I hate going to car dealers, because he said, whatever the price is on the sticker, that's the price I end up paying, because I'm not a good negotiator. It was a quarterback too. I was kind of surprised, but that's the way a lot of people feel about going to dealers. And so this is the best. This is a better way to shop for cars. I have one from Bill Papageorge. Grace does. My daughter Charlotte has a car. So Bill, what's the phone number if people want to talk to you?
So the phone number is 800-300-4600.
800-300-4600. Okay. And so, you know, the price of gasoline is going up now, isn't it? I mean, are people starting to get again concerned about the high cost of fuel?
I definitely think so. I've had some calls this week that actually people that own Suburbans, Tahoes, and big SUVs are getting a little bit nervous right now because the gas is getting up there, and if we have any type of catastrophic situation that goes on,
is this the switch? Is this the switch over to the spring formula, which always raises the prices? You know, with these stupid EPA regulations, and they have to, especially in California, they have to change the formula. Or is it just the sort of the tension in the Mideast with Iran?
I definitely think it's the tension in the Mideast for sure. As soon as they started talking about getting rid of that whole Iranian deal that they had from previous, I noticed the gas prices slowly but surely slipping up.
Yeah.
So hopefully they'll get that squared away, and then we won't have a problem. But be prepared to have higher gas prices for a while.
Yeah. Well, if you have a question, if you want to know if you should be looking for a new car or what you or what you want in a car, and also Bill can help you out if you need to just get some work done on your car. If you've got a problem and you're not really all that confident in getting a fair deal from your local dealer or repair shop. And would you recommend, Bill, in general terms, going to a dealer or if you're out of the warranty, would you recommend going to a dealer or to an independent car repair shop?
I think if you can build a relationship with a local guy that, you have a feeling of trust, and then, it depends on how it goes from there. But sometimes they'll take advantage of you too. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but if anybody needs any help with their vehicle, sure, give me a call. I'll be more than happy to try to at least point you in the right direction at the worst.
Phil Simms was the quarterback. That's right. Yeah.
Oh.
A Giants quarterback, too, on top of everything else. A guy from New York. Spent all of his post-college career in New York, and he still is afraid to go to a car dealer.
Well, he doesn't like to negotiate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
Yeah. That's what it is. It's harder to find a local repairman though now, isn't it? With all the electronic equipment, it's not like the old days when basically there were 3 car companies and all the cars were kind of built alike, and you didn't have these sophisticated electronic systems that you do now.
I think what happens is if you're going to go look for a guy, you probably want to get somebody that really works on that type of car that you have, because like yesterday, for instance, we had a Volvo that we were taking to a customer, and she had her own Volvo mechanic, so we brought it over there after we serviced it and everything, and that's all they did was Volvos. That's it. So they eat, drink, and sleep them. They pretty much know exactly what's going on, and she felt very comfortable with them, that they weren't going to try to take her over the coals for anything that she was going to do going forward.
240 says, if I buy tires for my leased car, will VW ding me when I return the car if they don't, quote unquote, approve of the tires I buy?
They could ding them. It's possible, depending on if is it a Jetta or what type of car is it? I guess
doesn't say, just a VW.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a cheaper model, less expensive model, possibly he can get away with it. But I think if it's something like a Touareg or something like that, where it's a $50,000-$60,000 car new, they may ding him if he doesn't use a name brand.
I'm always worried about buying, a leased car and taking it back after 2 or 3 years, and just seeing all the, the little, that I'm going to get screwed, that I'm going to get I have the same kind of fear that Phil Simms has, going to the dealer.
I don't blame you. But the thing is, every little nick, ding, scratch mark, or anything on the car, they're going to charge you for it. So, it's...
Like I noticed today, or a couple of days ago, I was cleaning the inside windows of the car you got me, and they're these two little, I guess where stones hit the front windshield, and
right.
they're little cracks. I mean, they're not gonna break or anything like that. And I only noticed it when I was cleaning the windows, but. I mean, if I had leased the car,
yep, they'll probably charge you for a windshield.
Yeah, a whole windshield, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly. But you can in Massachusetts, you can still get 2 windshields a year for free on your insurance, and your insurance, even though it's their lease car, you could probably have that replaced.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it has to be bad enough that it's either in the view of the driver.
No, it's not. It's right at the top.
Yeah, naturally.
So I can't. Both of them. There are
right.
2 of them right at the top.
Right.
On each side of the mirror.
Don't you think you could find a way to make a more obnoxious crack in the windshield and get it replaced for free?
Yeah. So I'd lose the car for a couple of days, or no, I don't think so. I think I'll leave it the way it is and just just curse the fates for not helping me. If you've got a question for Bill Papa George, give us a call at 844-500-4242, 844-500-4242. Someone wants to know, do you have how much would a Ford Raptor cost me?
Ford Raptor is a very expensive truck. Have you seen those, Howie?
I'm sure I have, but I'm not sure if I know what they look like.
Yeah, I mean, what year are they asking about?
He doesn't say. Just a Ford.
Well, you
Raptor.
know what? You can call me after the show because those trucks are $50,000-$60,000 and more new.
Those are the ones with a massive extended cab, right?
Yeah, the extended cab, and they usually they've got the higher suspension and bigger tires and wheels, and they're made for off-road basically. So you can take it off-road if you want to.
Now, you were telling me that on the way over here, you got a call from a guy who's looking for a Mercedes convertible. Right. And I was now how much? What year is that guy looking for, and how much is that going to cost?
Well, he's looking for specifically like an 09, and he'd like to get one that has miles, say, less than 60,000, and hopefully pay around in the $30,000 range, which is
that seems pretty cheap to me.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, he's got a budget, and he wants to try to stay within his budget, and he wants a really perfect car as well. So that's key. And he's been looking for this particular car for a few months now, and he just can't find the one that he wants. So he gave me a call.
So to explain to people who've never heard you on before, how do you find? Okay, someone says I want a Mercedes convertible 09, 30,000 range. How do you find that?
So every other week I go to the big dealer auction. It's the largest dealer auction in the world. It's in Manheim, Pennsylvania, and when I go there, they'll sell 10,000 cars in one day. So I actually get there a couple of days early, and I start to look at all the cars and try to find all the cars that meet all the criteria of my different customers that I'll have a list of. And then once I get that list honed down, I'll actually interactively speak with them on the phone, send them some pictures, take them for a ride, check them out thoroughly, both from the condition reports that we get at the sale. But besides that, I'm actually going to check it myself. So I'm going to use my paint meter and go around it, see if it's had any previous paint work. I'm going to look at
paint meter.
Paint meter, yeah.
I didn't know what is it. How does that work?
So what it does is it measures the amount of paint that's on the car. So when a car is painted at the factory, what happens is it's done in a completely sterile environment, and they use guns that basically are all robotic. So,
right.
So there's no human hand involved. It's
I hope so.
Exactly. It's the same exact thing every car. So what happens is that tolerance is the same, and you can't reproduce it if you paint a car, because it's going to be different. And so as soon as we see that little difference, we know that that's been painted. Then we need to look at it more carefully to determine whether or not that particular panel has been off the car, or if there's been something welded behind it, if there was frame damage or that type of thing. So that's how we. That's how
you figure it out.
Right.
And but you're bidding against other people. So right.
Right, but I'm looking at the cars the days before the sale, so that way I know exactly what I want to buy when I go to the sale. And so
you know how much money you got. So if it goes up, like if the Mercedes convertible goes to 35,000, you're out.
And he won't buy it. So that absolutely right.
So they're not going to get stuck. It's just
right.
whatever they tell you, you'll get it.
What I like to hope for is that I can have a second, third, and fourth possibility. So in other words, that there are other cars that match that criteria that we could have a second choice of.
Right.
We try to prioritize those. So we'll say, okay, this car we like the best. That's number one. Mm-hmm. Number two, number three, number four. The only thing is, sometimes what happens is he may say that the number one car is actually going to go off at the last car. So we've got to. It's a little bit of jockeying around.
It's kind of like a draft choices.
It
right?
is, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, when the Jets take Baker Mayfield, then that was the guy the Patriots wanted, so they're not going to trade up.
Right, exactly.
To get Sam Darnold, because they don't think he's as good as Baker Mayfield.
Exactly.
Right? In the same way with the cars.
The biggest problem that you have in the summertime, Howie, is when one of the dealers brings his wife to the sale, and she wants to get a car for herself. You can be guaranteed that you're not going to get that car because he won't be sleeping in the big bed later on.
All right. We're going to take some calls when we come back. Everybody get on board. We got a couple of calls now. We'll take some more calls. And by the way, if you want to talk to Bill Papa George, you can call him off air, 800-300-4600. We're going to be taking a break. You can call him right now, or you can wait to come on the air, 800-300-4600. I'm Howie Carr.
They call him the Trash Man, but we'll call him Captain Howie Carr.
Are you looking for a pre-owned car? Well, before you go to the dealership where you'll be pounced on by pushy salespeople, give the Car Guys a try. I'm Bill Papa George, and my job is to make finding the perfect used car as easy as possible. That means I do all of the tough legwork for you. Once I figure out what you want out of a car, I go find it. I've been in this business for a long time, and I know what to look out for. I won't bring you a car unless I know it will meet or exceed your expectations. So give me a call at 800-300-4600. That is 800-300-4600.
Hey, small business owners, would you like to advertise on the Howie Carr Radio Network? Howie's show reaches all across New England. And you know who's listening? Your next customer, client, or business lead. If you're interested in getting your message out on the Howie Carr Radio Network, email us at ads@howiecarrshow.com. That's ads@howiecarrshow.com. You're listening to Howie? Why wouldn't your next customer?
It feels like you're relying on this tax cut of the corporations, of the wealthy, to trickle down.
Yeah, Southwest and American Airlines both announcing they're going to give $1,000 bonuses to employees following the tax overhaul.
Wage increases don't follow tax cuts like this.
So the world's largest retailer giving its U.S. employees a bonus, a wage increase, and expanded maternity and parental leave. So you're creating a huge tax cut, right, and you might not get wage growth.
Right. Capital One Financial, which just confirmed to CNBC that they will raise the minimum wage for all U.S.-based employees at Capital One to $15 per hour.
And anybody who thinks that this corporate tax cut is going to trickle down to lift wages has a staggering ignorance of how public companies function.
Wells Fargo said it would raise its minimum wage to $15 per hour.
That the day we cut the corporate tax rate, wages are going to suddenly jump up when there's absolutely no historical evidence whatsoever that this will happen.
Boeing announced $300 million in investments for corporate giving and workplace improvements.
Hey, it's Grace. Can we talk about something serious for a minute? Your age. Getting old has its perks. But remember, being a few years younger, your hair was thicker, you didn't have so many wrinkles, that extra weight wasn't haunting you, and you just felt better. Well, we can't turn back the clocks and go back 10 or 15 years, but you can start feeling and looking 10 or 15 years younger with Nature's Youth RSF. It's a doctor-formulated daily supplement that helps your body maintain its peak performance and fight the aging process. Imagine sleeping better, looking better, and feeling better. See how Nature's Youth RSF has helped thousands of people just like you at nature'syouth.com. nature'syouth.com. Imagine how it will feel when your family and friends are asking you what you did to look so good. Your secret will be Nature's Youth RSF. It's time to start looking better and feeling better. Learn more and order your Nature's Youth RSF at nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com.
To buy your home, you became a house hunting ace, learned about loans, scoured neighborhoods, and asked the right questions. Now you're queen of your castle. If you manage that, you can get your retirement plan on track. Visiting aceyourretirement.org can help. With 401k tips and smart saving strategies, you will feel empowered to own your retirement like you own your home. Go to aceyourretirement.org. Because when it comes to clearing financial hurdles, you're an ace. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council. When you went car shopping, you meant business. You aced vehicle history searches and test drives. You out-salesmaned the salesman. Now you got your wheels. If you manage that, you can get your retirement plan on track. Visiting aceyourretirement.org can help. With 401k tips and smart saving strategies, you'll have the info you need to get more for your future. Go to aceyourretirement.org. Because when it comes to speeding past financial challenges, you're an ace. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
This is Alex from East Bridgewater, Mass.
This is Ann in Saco, Maine.
This is John Zuko from Hanson, Mass. And this is The Howie Carr Show.
We're with Bill Papageorge from the car guys, and you give him your order, how much you can spend, what make and model you want, and he gets you the car that you want at the budget you want. And he makes money. People say, how do you get compensated? Well, of course he gets, he gets some money out of the deal himself. 800-300-4600. You can call him off air. He'll be driving back to his house, and you can get him at any time. And if you just want to call in, and Grace gets your number here at 844-500-4242. Let's take some calls for Bill Papageorge. You got any calls about anything, whether you want to buy a car, need car work on your car, or any kind of problems with your cars, this is the time to give him a call or give us a call. Pat, you're next with Howie Carr and Bill Papageorge from the Car Guys. Go ahead, Pat.
Hi, Howie.
Hi.
I just wanted to address something you said about leases. I lease Hondas for a living, and at the end of the lease, you do have a scratch and dent credit that they give you With Hondas, it's about $500. So you may have some little dings, maybe a little dent or something that isn't going to be over $500, and they wipe that clean. And of course, the tires, have to be in pretty good shape. And those are closed-end leases, unlike open-end leases that were horrible years ago. So there's no fee after you drop off the car. If you don't lease another one or buy that car, there is a disposition fee that you pay with Hondas. It's about $350, but you do get a scratch and dent credit.
Oh, that's good. Okay, I'm glad.
That's good to know. That's a Honda thing, then it must be specific to the brand.
Right. Thanks for the call, Pat. Would you recommend getting a supercharged car, or is that asking for trouble? Says 774.
It depends on whose supercharged car it is, basically. I mean, is it is it a Jaguar? Is it an Audi? That type of thing, because they have some issues with different cars. So maybe he can be more specific.
It just depends.
Yeah,
depends.
It depends on what brand it is.
Right.
Yep. You can call me anytime, though.
Chris, you're next with Howie Carr and Bill Papa George. Go ahead, Chris.
Hey, Howie, how you doing? Good. So listen, I was wondering. I know he deals in the, in the buying. People who want to buy a car would go to him and say, "Hey, I want to buy this kind of car or that kind of car," and he can search them out. What about people who have kind of like maybe not collector's item cars, but cars that are kind of desirable? Does he keep a file of those? I know he said he goes to an auction all the time to find cars, but does, for instance, if I had a 99 540 Sport with a 6-speed in it that he knows some people might want, would he deal on my behalf as kind of like as a seller instead of a buyer?
Yeah, sometimes I can do that. Absolutely, sure. If you have a special car that's you think has got merit to it, absolutely. I mean, that's a vehicle that if we advertised it in the BMW, like the Rondell magazine or whatnot, you'd probably get a lot of people, because there are a lot of people that are interested in those vehicles, that BMW people.
Right.
So you should. So if you have a car you think that a collector type of car,
right,
or
sure,
whatever, you're an antique. That's what the plate that says on the plate. You could call Bill Papa
absolutely.
George, and you can talk to him about the best way to get it.
Yeah, exactly, right. So we could try to sell it for you. Also, that's another possibility.
Then his number again is 800-300-4600. You can call him after the show if you want. 844-500-4242. Question for Bill from 617 area code: how does he transport the cars he purchases at the auction back to New England?
I send them on a 10-car carrier, typically. Sometimes they have a smaller truck too. Sometimes, depending on how many cars that we buy. Typically, we're getting between 4 and say 12 cars at a clip. And so depending upon on which truck they send down at that particular day, if they sent a 10-car carrier and they had 4 cars, they would split it up and probably put a half a dozen cars on that would be for other dealers that would be in this local vicinity,
What's your opinion on the Ford Flex, says 413?
I think they've been good cars pretty much. I really haven't had any problems with them. I've sold quite a few of them. I think they're pretty good.
So your next trip down, what's the number one? What kind of car? I mean, I guess you can't speak specifically to, but what various kind of car?
Well,
are there SUVs down because of the higher price of gas?
No, not really. Everybody wants SUVs. In fact, Ford is going to stop making sedans now, completely.
Really?
Yes, it's only going to be SUVs and pickup trucks. They just announced it.
Wow, that's really something.
Yeah. So I don't know when they're going to start that.
Okay, what's your number, Bill?
800-300-4600.
800-300-4600. You can call Bill tonight or anytime. Call him tomorrow if you want. He's always got the phone with him. Talk to him about any questions you have for cars. 800-300-4600. I'll see you Monday. I'm Howie Carr. It's a common phrase, better safe than sorry. Of course, sometimes you need an actual safe to be safe, and you'll find the best at Dependable Lock Service in Nashua and Liberty Safe of New Hampshire in Northampton. Both locations carry Liberty Safes, and you'll be safe when you keep your guns and other valuables in the safe made with the best materials and craftsmanship here in the USA. Visit your Liberty Safe dealer located in Nashua or Northampton.